The Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network and FloSports is proud to present Old Dominion Athletic Conference Volleyball Tournament action. It's a semifinal affair inside Turner Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Lynchburg between the Hornets, 25-3 this season, and the Bridgewater College Eagles. They come in at 20-7. Hello again, volleyball lovers. My name is Kyle Haney with my colleague Ethan Maratsky. Ski this season has been building to a crescendo, and for one of these teams, this part of the season will end. If you're Lynchburg, you know they feel pretty good about their NCAA tournament chances, even without winning the ODAC tournament. For Bridgewater, they're more of in that win to stay alive in 2025 mode right now. But how are you, my friend? Let's get the spotlight on Ethan Maratsky.
I'm great. Just got finished up with our men's basketball game. It's going to be a fantastic broadcast. It's super exciting. It's the best time of year for sports like this. It's playoff time. We're ODAC Semifinals between two top teams, not only in the ODAC, but also in the country. Both these teams have been receiving votes all year. Lynchburg breaking that top 25 coaches poll just for a week and still receiving votes, but it's going to be a blast. Both these teams it's going to be a dogfight all night.
It really is. We've got so much to talk about, some great storylines. We will have a gym, we think, that's going to become a storyline in itself because of the rough and raucous crowd that we're going to have inside Turner Gymnasium tonight. Let's run down the stats for both ball clubs. Some similarities there. You see Lynchburg certainly with some advantages in nearly every category with the exception of digs. While we look at those, Ethan, let's go back to Tuesday. Lynchburg, straight set winner right here in this gym against Randolph-Macon. We thought the Hornets played their A-plus volleyball for maybe not the entire 3 sets, but you got to say they had about an hour or so in there where Lynchburg was really flying high.
Yeah, I think that's easily one of the best games we've seen from the Hornets, and obviously every team makes mistakes. The Hornets made mistakes, but they capitalized on whenever the Yellow Jackets were prone to those opportunities. So I think with that being said, the fact that was one of the best games we've seen from the Hornets with the mistakes they made, that speaks a lot on how they feel going into this game, where you really can't make any of those mistakes going up against a really great Eagles team when you've got Reagan Stoop and a bunch of great players.
Yeah, Bridgewater in action Tuesday. They were also a sweep winner against Guilford. Bridgewater is the 3 seed. Guilford came in as the 6 seed. Bridgewater actually avenging a home loss rather to Guilford earlier in the season. So that was big for the Eagles, and you're right. I think they're playing their best volleyball right now, just like Lynchburg is. You teased Reagan Stoop there, the outstanding talent for Bridgewater. She will be our player to watch for the Eagles. She has been one of the best already in ODAC history. A junior. There's a look at Reagan Stoop. And Lynchburg actually in the regular season meeting, which the Hornets did win in this gym on a raucous Friday night, on a Code Red night, Lynchburg really kept Reagan Stoop for the most part in check. I mean, I think Stoop still had 10 kills. It's not as though she was absent by any means, but I think Lynchburg felt good with their defensive efforts on Reagan Stoop that night.
Yeah, definitely going through film, it's easy to look at Stoop and say, this is their star player. We need to shut her down, and obviously it's hard to completely shut down Reagan Stoop. It really is. She's a fantastic player. Like you said, one of the best Bridgewater's program has ever seen, one of the best the ODAC has ever seen. But it's going to be tough again tonight because you got to think, Stoop and this Bridgewater team, they're going to want revenge.
I think revenge will be on the mind of the Bridgewater Eagles. They felt like they could have won that game in this gym back on September 19th. Gosh, that feels like an eternity ago. Really, almost 2 months ago for that regular season game, which we will revisit some tonight as well. And let's check out our Lynchburg player to watch. It's going to be a player that really, in the last couple ball games, has been outstanding. There's Tori Williamson, 15 kills on Tuesday night. She had 15 in the regular season finale against Hollins. That means she is playing some of her best volleyball when it matters most.
Tori Williamson really is one of the heart and souls of this program. She was young and ready for action when she first got here, and she has transferred herself into that veteran leadership role. She's a locker room player. She does it 110% on the court. She's a player that you want on every single team if you're a coaching staff. And I want to point out she leads the team in digs, which typically is your libero or defensive specialist. But for Tori Williamson to have so much impact, not only in front of the net on the offensive end, but to be so well in the backcourt and on defense is stellar for a player like Tori Williamson.
Well, to your point, how well-rounded Tori Williamson is, she was the team leader in kills last year. This year, she's the team leader in digs. So you're right, absolutely a well-rounded talent, and she will need to have a good game for Lynchburg to win tonight. You mentioned those DS liberos. We've got a few that we're going to highlight here today, a little bonus highlight. And Ethan, you cooked this up, I think in part because we really enjoyed what Cassie Blackmore was doing on court the other night on Tuesday night. Cassie Blackmore in the libero jersey for Lynchburg. She had an outstanding game, and really Cassie Blackmore's career, 5'5" senior from Nolensville, Tennessee. It's been an interesting career arc for Cassie Blackmore. She led Lynchburg in digs in 2022 and 2023. Over 1,000 career digs. There's the numbers this year for Cassie Blackmore, and also her counterpart, Anna Black. And I love that you put the career digs in there, and if you can see it, fans, there's a little asterisk because Anna Black has played some volleyball at a few other places in addition to Bridgewater.
And played 3 years at William and Mary, and her fourth and last year was at EMU in the ODAC. So she's accustomed to ODAC play, but here at Bridgewater, she's really been a helping hand and exalted this team further past it now. But this team is looking to make their first ODAC championship round. For actually both of these coaches trying to make their first ODAC championship round. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see. Again, it's going to be a dogfight. Really excited for both these teams to go one-on-one.
I think it is going to be a great volleyball matchup. I think both teams could show the elements of some nerves in here tonight. But as we said, in Lynchburg, with the fact that they are ranked pretty high in that NPI, they're now number 14. They do feel confident that they will get an at-large bid if they don't win the ODAC. Bridgewater, not so much. They might need to win the tournament. Additionally, Lynchburg would be trying to get in the ODAC title game for the first time since 2014. We were doing the research on Bridgewater, and they've made 8 semifinal appearances in the last 15 years, but they haven't been to an ODAC final in a really long time. So, regardless of NCAA possibilities, this matchup means a lot for both programs.
Yeah, Coach Erin Harris in her 15th season trying to reach that championship game against either WNL or Virginia Wesleyan. Coach Kevin Cardozo trying to make his first championship game in program, or while he's been at this program. There's a lot going on, a lot not just on the shoulders for the players, and a lot going on for the coaches. And you mentioned that Lynchburg, they can kind of rely on an at-large bid with how well they've been playing, but I don't think these girls want an at-large bid. I think they want to earn their spot from winning the ODAC championship, and you can go on the other side, on the flip side, and say the same thing about Bridgewater. Both these teams want it so badly, and that's exactly why I know that this is going to be a great matchup between these two teams.
Well said by you. I mean, really, I think you summed it up perfectly as you get a look at the relaxed Kevin Cardozo on our screen right there, just observing the pregame warm-ups. Lynchburg has won 11 of their last 12. Bridgewater has won 4 in a row. They have won 6 of their last 7 and 10 of their last 12. So again, both teams have good resumes coming into this one. Bridgewater 20-7 overall. They were 22-7 last year, but this semifinal round was a stumbling block last season for both teams. That'll change tonight for one squad. Let's find out which. We'll meet you at the net for the starting lineup and the first serve in just a moment. It's ODAC semifinal play between Bridgewater and Lynchburg. You'll see it on LHSN and FloSports. Yeah, Turner Gymnasium is packed and stacked. Fans from both sides have filled out the arena tonight for an Old Dominion Athletic Conference tournament semifinal volleyball action between Bridgewater and Lynchburg. Kyle and Ethan, back with you. We'll run down the projected starting lineups for both ball clubs, starting with the Lynchburg Hornets, who are the home team, second seed in this tournament. They were 10-1 in ODAC play. And Lynchburg names to know would include Tori Williamson. We've already mentioned Tori Williamson, but other great scoring options for Lynchburg will include Kate Hardy, Jackie Bryant, Leah DiNardo, Ava Meinhardt. Setters will be Alexis Scipione and Maya Green, and we do expect to see Cassie Blackmore primarily as the libero with Morgan Clark and also Abby Barlow as potential options to go to in that spot as well, Ethan.
Yeah, the beauty of this team is that there's so much depth involved, and that's the difference maker between last year and this year, where you had Jane Leak as the only setter last year behind. Oh, she had a setter behind her, but this year she's got Scipione, Maya Green back. She's healthy. There's so much depth in this squad that it's so much fun watching how much skill and talent is on the bench too. Absolutely.
It is a deep roster for Lynchburg, and Kevin Cardoza said all of those players are available tonight. You pointed out this Lynchburg team is actually quite a bit healthier than they were at this stage last year, specifically Tori Williamson, but that's always good when you've got the full complement of ammunition going in there. We shouldn't leave out Kaylee Keogh as well as a great scoring option. Keogh in her career now is currently 8th all-time in kills for Lynchburg. She needs 11 more to jump into 7th place. Projected starting lineup for Bridgewater, we talked about Reagan Stoop. Their other great scoring lineups for Bridgewater will include Claire Griffith, a junior, and also Gabby Atwell, a senior. For Bridgewater, Anna Black is the outstanding libero that we highlighted earlier, and expect to see Maya Veselinovic as a key contributor. Messed it up, but no more screw-ups, and we'll have to be sharp as well. I'll tell you what, Ethan, we can't even hear each other, so we'll apologize now to the fans. If you say something that I, either just repeat or completely ignore or vice versa, fans, you know why. It is very loud in the gym tonight. Loudest I can remember. I mean, those Code Red games are loud, but I'll tell you this, with the Code Red, that's typically one-sided, just Lynchburg fans. Tonight, we've got a lot of Bridgewater fans in the house as well. That means it is high volume.
Yeah, Bridgewater had a little student bus come along. They got a little bit of a section over there alongside the parents. Kyle, this is how we love it, though. We love the noise. We love the banter between the two teams and the two student sections and the fans. It makes it so much more fun, not only for the players on the court, but for us up here to give all of this to you viewers.
No doubt about it. It really is something that coaches love as well, because so often the coaches have to get on the teams in those empty gyms about, hey, bring your own energy and let's get up, let's make noise. Well, tonight, you don't really need to bring your own energy tonight. Lynchburg on the right side of your screen in the red top, black shorts. Bridgewater in the black top with the black shorts. It really is going to be fun. Winner will meet the winner of Virginia Wesleyan and Washington and Lee. Wesleyan, the 1 seed. The Generals from Washington and Lee, the 4 seed. I know Virginia Wesleyan's undefeated, but that still feels like a toss-up game to me in the other semifinal, doesn't it?
Yeah, both two fantastic teams. You go back to last year, and Washington and Lee were one of the best teams in the nation. I mean, coming into this year, they were in the top 5 of the coaches poll, and they've still had an outstanding season, but this ODAC really this entire year has been a toss-up.
First serve for Alexis Scipione is wide right. First point goes to the Bridgewater Eagles. Let's play some ODAC semifinal volleyball inside a very full Turner Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. We know Lynchburg is going to try to serve tough. Expect to see some serving errors for the Hornets. Expect to see a few aces in there as well. Tori Williamson to Scipione. How about a little snap, crackle, pop for Kate Hardy to tie the game up?
Yeah, I think these first couple points really going to be about getting the first point jitters out, and I think that's what happened with Alexis Scipione. Could have just been a random error, but a really good bounce back from Scipione and Hardy.
Nice serve from Tori Williamson. First touch from Alexis Curry. There's Reagan Stoop. Good dig by Cassie Blackmore. Lynchburg in transition. Kaylee Keogh will punch it through the block for the second point of the match.
And I've got chills, Kyle. We're only 3 points into this contest, and both sides are getting so hyped, so much energy. Goosebumps, just straight goosebumps.
We could keep one camera on each fan section, and that would probably be worth the price of admission right there. Stoop tried to go long. Nice read by Tori Williamson with the watchful eye to let it go too far.
Stoop, obviously the player we highlighted, she is an incredible outside hitter for the Eagles. Like you mentioned earlier, one of the best the ODAC's ever seen.
Too strong of a serve there for Tori Williamson. Lynchburg already with a couple serving errors. But just back to the point, statistically, that's not too far outside the norm. Coach Kevin Cardoza said 3 or 4 errors a set is okay with the coaching staff as long as we're serving tough and not giving up a bunch of lollipops. Bump set from Scipione. Keogh went down the near side line. Nice setter dump right there. It was more of a setter slam dunk, really. Good shot from Kate Hardy. Bridgewater in transition. Stoop, far side. Blackmore nearly got the right hand under it, but couldn't scoop it off the floor.
It's been a lot of Kate Hardy and Stoop to start off this contest, and that's exactly how we expected it. Don't be afraid, or don't be weirded out if we see a little bit of Tori Williamson and Kaylee Keogh. There's a lot of talent on both these squads.
No doubt about it. But a great point by you as Hardy sends a strong one. That one got stymied by the block. Back row attack will get through. Great shot right there by Faith Depew. Faith Depew really takes a back seat to nobody. When you're playing with Reagan Stoop, she gets a lot of the headlines, but Faith Depew is a very good player. We'll run down some stats for her. It's a Bridgewater lead. Second of the ball game after going up 1-0. Middle shot from DiNardo. That was pounded. How did Bridgewater keep it alive? And then Maya Veselinovic with the left hand to push it down for an Eagle lead.
Yeah, really great heads-up play by Veselinovic. Obviously a really tough hit from Leah DiNardo, but just a great heads-up play to just smack it across and keep Lynchburg on their toes, and that's what you have to do coming into a tough place in Turner Gymnasium.
Hardy away from the net, sent that one into the mesh. Eagles now doubling up Lynchburg, 6-3. I want to give Faith Depew's stat line here. We've had a couple plays since then, but really she's put together some great numbers this season worth talking about. Faith Depew gets 2.56 kills per set. I believe that's good for second on the ball club. Middle for Bridgewater. DiNardo got a touch, and then Kaylee Keogh couldn't slide the spatula underneath. Eagles by 4. I believe it's a 6-1 run right now for Lynchburg, or for Bridgewater rather, and it's going to prompt Coach Kevin Cardoza to take an early timeout. We'll stay right here. Set 1 action. Bridgewater 7, Lynchburg 3. Coach Cardoza does not take many first set timeouts, Ethan.
Yeah, well, typically all season it's been the other teams taking early timeouts, but against a juggernaut like Bridgewater, remember, they're the 3 seed, but at this point, seeding doesn't really matter. The only reason that seeding takes into account of is home field advantage, and so every team that is left, you got W&L, Vauwes, Lynchburg, and Bridgewater, they're all just juggernauts in this conference where it almost feels like anybody could come out on top. So for Coach Kevin Cardoza to take a timeout here, it's a little off target. We don't really see it very often. I
think it shows that he obviously values this early part of set 1 here. Maybe a little bit more than just your normal regular season game. Doesn't want to let this set slip away. Doesn't want to say, all right, let's just white flag this and go to set number 2, try to win 2, 3, and 4. No, Coach Kevin Cardoza wants his team to get back in the fight here in set number 1. So far, Bridgewater is taking the fight right to Lynchburg. And the Eagles are playing pretty good volleyball. You've mentioned a few times, at least I think you have. Again, with the noise, I can't hear everything. But you mentioned a few times, Bridgewater kind of hitting Lynchburg from some odd angles, attacking on 2 a little bit, really keeping the Lynchburg defense on their toes.
Yeah, and that's really what you got to do. This is a Lynchburg team who does well in Turner Gymnasium, and so you got to do whatever you can to keep them on their back foot.
And try to take this crowd out of it as well. There's Leah DiNardo. She can get a crowd right back into it. The machine has the gears greased up, and Lynchburg gets a much-needed point out of the timeout.
We'll have Ava Meinhardt check in for Leah DiNardo. Cassie Blackmore at the service line. Blackmore, one of my favorite servers. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the high velocity, but she really favors that placement.
She is very accurate, steady hand back there. Great touch shot from Reagan Stoop. She had a good little celebration at the end of that. And now Bridgewater back doubling up Lynchburg again, 8-4. And that's Stoop at her best. She has all the shots, Ethan. Yes, she's got the high, hard one. She can pick out corners and lines, but she can also just touch one over the blockers. Good dig from Cassie Blackmore. Here's Kaylee Keogh from off court. Tried to go to the opposite corner and missed. Eagles by 5.
This Eagles serving has been fantastic, especially from Lindsay Kelly, where they're putting it in great places where Blackmore and Williamson and Keogh, they can't really get a good touch on it to give Alexis Scipione a good set.
It's a better set that time from Scipione, and it will lead to a point. Ava Meinhardt right down the middle with a hot one the back row couldn't handle. Great call about the quality serving from Lindsay Kelly, sophomore setter from Mount Airy, Maryland. Lynchburg has not served in a while, or not much in this first set anyway, you'd have to say. But a side out will get Kate Hardy to rock, and she can do some special things. And there you go, ace number 1 for Kate Hardy. She is an absolute boomer, and that live right arm is ready to go tonight.
Kate Hardy, her serve is so amazing to watch. The velocity, I mean, there's some flames behind her serves, Kyle.
4 in the back row here to receive for Bridgewater. A great look at it from that on-floor camera shot. And back to, that's what you have to expect a little bit from Lynchburg as a team and from Kate Hardy individually. She will get some aces. She will have some errors. Lynchburg is okay with that. Maya Green and Jackie Bryant check in for Lynchburg. And here's Reagan Stoop, who's a pretty good server in her own right. She can do dangerous things from this service line. More of a float that time that Blackmore handled. Green, cross court for Keogh. Nice dig there. Bridgewater's going to keep this alive. Let's see if Lynchburg can take advantage. Maya Green with the setter dump, covered well by Kelly. Good shot that will get through. That was Faith Depew again. Boy, Faith Depew's putting together her first set to remember already. Our live stats are kind of busted right now, but it's at least 2 or 3 for Faith Depew. She's been involved.
And I think the key for Bridgewater is that it can't just be Stoop that steps up in this ballgame. It's got to be everybody.
Totally agree with that. Jackie Bryant down the middle. Fantastic dig by Anna Black. What a play by the libero for Bridgewater. Another take for Lynchburg. Another shot for Jackie Bryant. Slowed down. That one will get through Ava Meinhardt. Agnes Alford, sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina, scores it for Bridgewater. Eagles with total team contributions right now. Everybody's getting it done. 12-6. Bridgewater by 6. Maya Green will have to run down a sloppy pass. Lynchburg with a decent shot attempt. There's an overhand set from the libero, Anna Black. And that ball's on the line. Lynchburg cannot believe the call. As you hear the entire Lynchburg cheering section get into it. Bridgewater fans are going to give it right back to them. And the referees are going to talk it over here, Ethan.
Yeah, you've got Ava Meinhardt and Tori Williamson who went up for that block. They're very confused, but yeah, we're going to have some conversation. It didn't look like there was a touch there on that replay, but you know, we have the luxury of having a great crew and a great replay up here.
It's a wonderful setup. Our LHSN team is working hard. You heard Ethan mention a double dip night for us because we had men's basketball. It's a very close game. We were on overtime watch for a bit. Jackie Bryant, too low into the screen, and now Bridgewater, you have to say, is rolling here in set 1, 14-6.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier it was the beginning of the game jitters. This is one of the biggest games of almost everybody's career for Lynchburg, so maybe just trying to slow things down a bit is probably the best for them.
Yeah, keep it simple. Work your fundamentals, work your keys. And if you're Lynchburg, there's no 8-point shot. You got to get back in it 1 point at a time. There's one through the block again. Faith Depew, heavy-handed against what looked to be a pretty nice, tightly pressed Lynchburg block. Hornets are going to take another timeout. Bridgewater with the early advantage, the early salvos from the Eagles. Lynchburg did lead briefly in set 1, but Bridgewater with outstanding play. Faith Depew's the standout for me so far, but really for Bridgewater, Ethan, I mean, you can talk about up and down the roster. They're getting fantastic contributions.
Yeah, a lot of talent on this roster. We've said it a couple times. If your head coach Aaron Harris and company, you're loving this second timeout called by Coach Kevin Cardoza. They only have 6 points on the board. You almost have a 10-point advantage. So if it gets later on in that set and Bridgewater starts to get on a little bit of a less of a run where they start to lose momentum, they've got 2 timeouts to work with. And if they start to regain that momentum, Lynchburg has none.
Great point about the timeouts there. I think timeouts don't get talked about as much in volleyball as they do, say, in a sport like football or basketball, but there's a lot of value in what you just pointed out. If you're Bridgewater, you got a couple in the pocket if you need to break momentum or make some kind of a tactical change as well. For Lynchburg, I mean, what do you think? Put yourself in their shoes. Do you think it's just jitters, or I don't know, if we say it's just jitters, that doesn't really give Bridgewater enough credit for what they're doing.
Yeah, I think you're correct on both ends. I think Bridgewater's playing outstanding volleyball in this first set, but I do agree that it is a little bit of a semifinal jitters. Again, this is the biggest game of the majority of these girls' careers, and they just got to get into the motion, start getting used to the game.
Down the middle for Jackie Bryant. She got that one to go off a great effort by the libero, Anna Black. So there's another good after timeout result for Lynchburg. They got a side out after their previous first set timeout. Let's see if Lynchburg can go on a serving run. It's Kaylee Keogh at the line for the Hornets. Faith Depew, another one through the block. She's really having a lot of success going to the inside arm on the block. Not trying to tool the block and have it go out of bounds, Ethan, but going to that inside arm, and Lynchburg just can't seem to keep it off the floor after it hits, sort of lower, almost around the elbows, it looks like.
Yeah, I think you got to give credit to Bridgewater. They're going right at this Lynchburg defense. I mean, they're one of the best in the country.
Jackie Bryant, another missile. Jackie Bryant is really doing her best to keep the Hornets in this ball game. Jackie Bryant with just 4 kills last game on Tuesday and 6 errors in that match. But tonight it looks like Jackie Bryant might have the A stuff.
Yeah, and you got to mention Maya Green whenever you mention Jacqueline Bryant, because those two are really a dynamic duo. And on the flip side for Lynchburg, you've got Kate Hardy and Scipione, where whenever Kate Hardy's on the court, Scipione's on the court. Whenever Maya Green's on the court, Jacqueline Bryant's on the court.
Yeah, Lynchburg has been committed to that rotation for basically the second half of the entire season. This time Lynchburg will cover. That was Jackie Bryant to pick that one off the floor. Tori Williamson on the move with a decent swing. Bridgewater had a chance but missed it wide right. Now maybe that momentum for Lynchburg starting to swing back. The pendulum starting to move in the Hornets' direction.
It starts with one, Kyle. You get that first one, then you can get the second one. You can't get the second or third one before you get that first point. And volleyball is such a huge sport of going on runs.
Stoop will take the first touch. Faith Depew over the block. Great effort by Meinhardt. See if Lynchburg can score off of it. Take 2 coming up. It'll be Tori Williamson. Back row attack for Reagan Stoop. Didn't get all of it, but perfect placement. I don't know, judging from her reaction, it might have been a mishit, but it certainly does not matter. Stoop with another point. Bridgewater gets the ball back and leads 17-9.
Stoop doing what she does best, finding the nooks and crannies in this Lynchburg defense. For Lynchburg, their passing really kind of been off the mark, where their outside hitters they're having to come backwards towards the ball.
Blitz ball from Leah DiNardo. Lynchburg does like to run so much of their offense through the middles. I wonder if we'll see that more going forward in set 1. Alexis Scipione and Kate Hardy do come back on the court, as mentioned by Ethan Morotsky. I'm Kyle Haney, and we're trying to keep our own heads together. We're in a blender up here in the broadcast booth because of these loud noises. Lynchburg down by 7, but certainly not out. Blackmore fends that one off. It'll bring a shot attempt for Hardy. She is sent back. Roof on for Bridgewater. And their lead is bumped up to 8.
Great block, great defense. Again, that pass from Scipione a little bit behind Hardy, where you want all of your outside hitters' momentum going towards the net. If she's got to stay stagnant, it's really tough to get some power behind your shot. Yeah,
it takes away some of the shot options and in-air adjustments as well. Tori Williamson looking to activate. Almost an overpass. Net joust instead. Play on. Black will lift that one up. Setter dump. Stymied. Great defense by Lynchburg. Stoop from off the court. Fantastic dig, but it went in the rafters and got redirected. Give Stoop another termination. Boy, this is a fun first set. Bridgewater feeling like they are having a little bit more fun right now, though. Why would you blame the Eagles for having a good time over there in that student section?
Yeah, definitely in the driver's seat. Stoop has just been outstanding. We talk about in the playoffs, you look for everybody to step up, but when your star player is hitting as well as she is right now, it's unbelievable.
Bridgewater nearly ran that one down, but Lynchburg will get a much-needed 11th point of the set. Can you imagine how the Bridgewater fans would have popped off if the Eagles could have kept that one alive there? Wow.
And it's tough when those balls go in the Raptors. You don't know if it's going to stay up there, or there are multiple times we've seen it already in this first set where it just hits that metal Raptor and just shoots back down.
Bridgewater out of system, but Stoop got a good strike. Now Lynchburg's turn. Kaylee Keogh, softer touch. Faith Depew from the back row. Too much. Bridgewater asking for a tip, and they got it. There was a tip on that ball, and Bridgewater wins the race to 20 by no small margin. Eagles by 9 after a touch by Lynchburg.
Another moment where Leah DiNardo looked like she was questioning the call, but Kevin Cardozo trying to ask his players, hey, did you see anything there?
Scipione wants to try it on 2. Blocked away. Blackmore is there for a hard shot from Stoop. Pretty good bump set from Williamson. KK didn't feel comfortable swinging on it, so she sent a free ball. Hardy with a punch. Pinball volleyball right here. Machine gun volleyball. Scipione going to go back to Hardy. Oh, yeah. When you can get Kate Hardy a good set, you mentioned earlier a set that was slightly behind her. When you can get her one where she wants it in the power alley there, she can do so much.
Yeah, going forward, she's already got a ton of velocity on her shot, but if you can get her going forward into that momentum, it just adds that much more challenge to be able to dig that one out.
Stoop on the move with a tip. Hardy will take the first. Now it's Keogh through a block and down. And Lynchburg starting to build. Lynchburg starting to build again, but they are still down 7. And Bridgewater is only 5 away from the first set finish line. Hornets will need to play great here in this next 10 or 15 minutes of volleyball. But it is something for Lynchburg. Blackmore in the right place. Let's try Kaylee Keogh again. Mishit that time. Into the twine, and now 21-7. The Eagles by 7. Bridgewater with great balance up front. Agnes Alford has scored. We've seen Reagan Stoop and Faith Depew do a lot of the scoring. But this is a Bridgewater squad that really maybe we underrated their depth. Maybe we talked about Reagan Stoop too much. Great effort by Lynchburg. Couple spatulas on that play to keep it alive. Here's Stoop. Oh my goodness, what a shot. Down the net with the thinnest of angles to drop that one in. That was impressive from Reagan Stoop.
Stoop is just taking this game by storm. You come into a tough environment on Wayne Prophet Court, and an error there from Bridgewater. The Hornets will take that, but again, a tough environment. We've got a packed student section towards our right, Kyle. We've got a semi-packed student section to our left, but to be able to take it by storm and just shut everybody up is so critical in a playoff game.
Yeah, that shot right there was one of the best we've seen this year. Just to see that opening, let alone to execute the shot. Here's Kate Hardy. Great effort by Black to keep that one off the hardwood. Then Stoop into the net. Well, she's human. We figured that out, but it was another potential setup there for Reagan Stoop to be destructive. Instead, Kate Hardy will stay on the service line. We know Kate Hardy can get hot. 4 aces the other night in the win against Randolph-Macon in the ODAC quarterfinal. Feels like if she can uncork 3 or 4 aces here, that would give Lynchburg a great shot. But the serving run is stalled out pretty quickly with an error, and now Bridgewater 2 away from the finish line.
And that's tough because going back to the Stoop error, that's okay that you have it. You got yourself some insurance points. You're okay to have a couple mishits, but for Lynchburg, an error like that at the service line, it's really what they've been struggling with this first set.
Stoop, float serve, no problem for Tori Williamson. Ava Meinhardt will get enough of the block and the net to make that unreturnable. Lynchburg stays alive for the moment. Here's Kaylee Keogh. Keogh's serving numbers this season are really good. On the year, it's 41 aces for number 17, coming into this match anyway. Mentioned our live stats are still a little bit wonky. Wow, Faith Depew with a cross-court shot. Bridgewater loves that cross-court shot to both sidelines. They are making it work, and they've got set point.
Well, if Lynchburg's going to leave it wide open for you, absolutely, you're going to take that opportunity. This Lynchburg defense, really, they look like they've just been lost all first set. They got to figure out something at the end of this first set to try and maybe get some momentum for the second.
Anna Black to serve, 11 aces for her on the season. Free ball for Lynchburg that is out, and Bridgewater takes set number 1 on the road, 25-16. Eagles were ready for this one. Lynchburg's going to have a say before it's all over. We head to set 2. Ethan Morotsky's coming back with the play-by-play on LHSN and Flo College.
And we welcome you back into the Hill City. It was all Bridgewater in set number 1. It was a loud set number 1. And believe it or not just from the Lynchburg fans, but Bridgewater. They brought their own student bus. They came prepared. It was all Bridgewater in set number 1. A lot of passing that really struggled on that Lynchburg side for Bridgewater. It was all Stoop and Depew. They really dominated and just took control. After the first lead that Lynchburg had, they came back, extended everything, and it was all Bridgewater.
Yeah, the live stats are still not working for us, so we should go old school here in set 2, Ethan, and keep the stats by hand. I may try to do that. That's kind of tough, especially with this loud, noisy gym. And you mentioned that Bridgewater student section, and not all students for Bridgewater, of course. They've got some adults here as well with the friends and family. But it's a fun vibe for volleyball. I think for Lynchburg, might be time to try Plan B. Might be time to maybe set the pin hitters a little bit more. Maybe a few defensive adjustments for Lynchburg to try to take away Stoop and Depew's scoring lanes there, take away some of those seams. And we'll see if Lynchburg can execute that, or maybe they fight fire with fire and stick with Plan A and just keep banging that hard. We know Lynchburg, typically the strong serving is such a part of their game plan, so when Lynchburg doesn't get to serve a lot, you neutralize one of their strengths, which is the great serving.
And then that's one of the things Bridgewater's done so well is they have done an amazing job serving, as Alexis Curry will now serve it across the Lynchburg side. Scipione, just another errant pass. They start off this second set exactly how you finished that last one. The setting and the passing has not been great for Lynchburg, but you can also credit it to another great serve by Curry.
Yeah, I think the tough serve really, really helps out there. But you're right, if you're Lynchburg, you can't give points away and beat a team like Bridgewater.
Scipione sends it across to Kate Hardy. She's going to poke it in some open space. You got your first point of the set from none other than Kate Hardy.
Yeah, Hardy really, we think of the flamethrower shots as her being at her best, but that's also her best. She can do that as well, and we'll give Kate Hardy 1 kill in set number 2.
Tori Williamson serves it across. It'll be Stu. Can't find anything now. Not Stu. Gabby Atwell finds a block at the top of the net and goes out on that Lynchburg side, so it'll be point Bridgewater. And we talked about how we thought this was going to be a dogfight, Kyle, but that first set, Bridgewater just extended and never looked back.
Yeah, really, it was very impressive from Bridgewater. They seemed totally unfazed by the moment. Remember, semifinal has been their stumbling block 8 times in the last 15 years. They've been in semifinals, but they want to go a step further this year. They look like they were ready for the moment in set 1.
It'll be Bridgewater, a huge hit from Marley back over. There was no chance Lynchburg was going to get on the end of that one.
The middles for Bridgewater, I think maybe we got to give them more credit. Gabby Atwell, Agnes Alford, a few other on the roster as well, but those were the 2 in set 1 that really stood out. Eagles by 2 again. You got to be careful for Lynchburg. You don't want a repeat of what happened in set 1, and watch out. It looks like it's happening right before our eyes in set 2.
Another great defensive play for the Eagles. Kyle, it honestly just looks like this Lynchburg squad are just out of tune, and they look like their communication isn't there. It looks like a completely different team from Tuesday.
Yeah, I think Lynchburg just needs to settle themselves a little bit. We thought, great serve. Tori Williamson would love to have that dig back. We thought Lynchburg would have less pressure in a match like this, but that's not always the case playing in your home gym. Sometimes that puts an added weight on your shoulders. I think Lynchburg will get settled in here, but you just can't be down by so much when you finally do hit your stride.
It'll be Kate Hardy, and she's blocked at the net. This is just completely different from Tuesday, like I mentioned. Kate Hardy is being shut down. Everybody on this Lynchburg team being shut down. The defense of Bridgewater has been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, I believe that was Agnes Alford and Reagan Stoop on this near side pin, sending Hardy back.
Everything just out of tune. Scipione and Denardo caught in between no man's land, and another early timeout for Coach Kevin Cardozo. These Bridgewater fans are going crazy, and maybe that's another reason why this Lynchburg squad is out of tune. And it just feels like everything is going wrong for them.
Well, notice also one of the unique things about volleyball is the teams switch benches during the sets. I think most of our volleyball fans know that. But you got a unique situation now where most of those Bridgewater students are actually behind the Lynchburg bench right now. So that can add a little bit more tension to you as a Lynchburg player, knowing you got their section right behind the bench. That's the only sport that I think we've ever been around where you switch benches during the quarter or the set or the half or anything like that. You see that in no other sport but volleyball.
Yeah, a little odd. And looking over at the Lynchburg huddle, Kevin Cardozo, he's kind of really taking a step back. I saw Kate Hardy actually talking a lot in that huddle. Now it's Coach Thomas Chandler, Coach Kevin Cardozo's right-hand man and assistant coach. He was talking a lot. I feel like if you're Lynchburg, this first time out is exactly like the last one from set number 1 when they had their first time out. You just have to get a complete reset, flip the switch, slow everything down. Don't let the Bridgewater fans get in your head, and do whatever you can to shut down the defense. Typically, you think about shutting down the offense, but the defense this second set has been outstanding.
Lynchburg's got to get better in serve receive, too. And there you go, another ace. That's happened multiple times here in set 2, where either just not quite clean enough on the first pass or some miscommunication on the first pass. Thomas Chandler, the assistant coach for Lynchburg, on his feet again. I think he's telling Tori Williamson, hey, maybe step up a little bit more.
Kaylee Keogh trying to toss it over. A great save from Bridgewater. Here comes Stoops. She's just going to send it across. It'll be Kate Hardy sending it further back. Looked like it might have gone out, but Bridgewater keeps it in. Stoops going to have a chance. She's blocked, but it's going to stay on Lynchburg's side. A diving attempt from Blackmore is no good, and we are right back to an 8-point lead, and here's Coach Kevin Cardozo changing it up. Tori Williamson, she'll check out, and Abby Barlow will check in for the Hornets.
Yeah, Lynchburg, this is directly related to wanting to be better in serve receive. So Williamson out, Barlow in. Barlow, a DS libero. It should help Lynchburg defensively. At least that's the idea on paper anyway.
Atwell will stay at the service line. Blackmore, it'll be Kate Hardy, and she's blocked yet again. Kate Hardy has had no answers for this Bridgewater defense.
Reagan Stoop. That might have been a solo stuff. The middle was on the way over there, but Reagan Stoop really did most of the hard work on that block. Yeah, it's all Bridgewater. This is a dream start right here. If you're Bridgewater, you take the first set, 25-16, and you are rolling in set 2. If you're Bridgewater, you're looking for the can of gasoline to try to throw that on the fire. Lynchburg asking for a touch, and they got the call. So that will be every bit of a much-needed Lynchburg point. Leah DiNardo.
Ava Meinhardt will check in for DiNardo, the one who got that touch at the net. So it'll be now Eagles 10, Hornets 2. You got a long way to go, and Cassie Blackmore going to try and start that up. Oh, trying to go with the center's kill. Maya Veselinovich tried to get it to go. And again, I feel like when you have that 8-point lead, you have that insurance, it gives you the availability to go for those things.
Agree. I don't hate the shot from Veselinovich. You see that arm action there, too? It was a quick left arm with the throw.
To Stoop. Stoop blocked. It's going to stay in. Bridgewater again on their toes. They're going to say this play keeps going. Bridgewater, they're just on their toes, ready for everything. I thought it got a touch on that Lynchburg side originally, but everybody kept going, and Bridgewater again, they just look ready for anything that this Lynchburg squad can throw at them.
Yeah, Eagles are pouncing. They are ready for the moment. Maybe Bridgewater is one of those teams that needs a big crowd, needs a big moment, needs to feel some tension. You do have some ball clubs like that, to where they don't start playing their best until the chips and the stakes are at their highest. Lynchburg, once again, will stay within arm's length. That's the thing. You got to stay in range here if you're Lynchburg. I think we both think they're going to start playing better, but you can't be down like 12 points when you do finally find your fifth gear.
I completely agree with you, Kyle, and hopefully that kill from Kate Hardy is going to start some fire in their bellies as she's now at the service line. Here she goes, sends it across too far again. The serving for Lynchburg has just been not great at all. We'll have Maya Green and Jacqueline Bryant checking in. Again, trying to switch things up is Coach Kevin Cardoza, but you wonder, is it a little late? I mean, they've got an 8-point deficit that they've got to come back from, which is definitely doable. Teams can do that in volleyball, but it's going to be tough against a red-hot Bridgewater team. Stoop will send it across. Another great serve. Stoop with an ace. It was Abby Barlow on the end of it, and nobody could get the rebound.
Yeah, that float serve has some wiggle, that movement. The bottom will fall out. I think that's what happened to Barlow there. Second chance.
We'll get a stoppage in play. It'll be a Lynchburg point. A little bit, looked like we were going to get a net joust, but there was a touch on one of the Bridgewater Eagles. So, again, Lynchburg, you start to chip away, but you got to start stacking points together. You can't get one and then immediately throw back a service error. So, hopefully, Kaylee Keogh can bring some upside. She'll send this across. No error this time. Oh my goodness, it is unbelievable. Agnes Alford, like you mentioned, Kyle, this Eagles front line has just been unstoppable this game.
Alford is the team leader in blocks per set at 0.72, and you're seeing she contributes quite a bit offensively as well. But you pointed it out right there. Lynchburg, just one serve and the quick side out, and there it was again. Miscommunication as it was a sloppy touch, sloppy pass from Tori Williamson. But if you're Coach Kevin Cardoza, you're telling the other five, hey, somebody's got to come in and clean that up and keep that alive.
Plain and simple, it just looks like Lynchburg's really in their own head, and you got to give credit to Bridgewater. That's the exact reason. Maya Green to Bryant. A huge hit from Jacqueline Bryant, but another great defensive play by the Eagles. Maya Green will keep this alive. Blackmore up to Bryant once more. She gets it to go this time. Jacqueline Bryant. 2 huge hits, and she finally gets it to go.
Yeah, Jackie Bryant was really one of, and you have to, I'll go ahead and say, I think she was the best scoring option for Lynchburg in set 1. If she can crank up and catch fire, maybe Lynchburg can keep feeding Jackie Bryant, help them get back in set 2.
Ava Meinhardt will send it across. It'll be Stoop on the far end. No, Stoop was not on it, excuse me, but Bridgewater will send a free ball across. Maya Green setting it up for DiNardo. She's just got to poke it across. Almost an excellent play again by Anna Black, but Lynchburg and DiNardo gets it to go. You start to trickle away that lead, but if you're Bridgewater, with how Lynchburg's been playing and how they really just have no answers for Stoop, you got to seem very comfortable in this situation, Kyle.
Yeah, I think if you're Bridgewater, I think if you're the coaching staff for Bridgewater, you don't want your team too comfortable, right? Because, again, I think they play better with pressure. But, yeah, the pressure is really on Lynchburg right now, squarely on the Hornets' back. So if you're Bridgewater, you should be playing fairly relaxed.
Beautiful hit, Stoop. She just finds all the open space. DiNardo's trying to say it was out. She is livid about the call.
Yeah, Maya Green actually made her way to go dig that ball and then pulled out of it with a dodge at the last second because she was sure it was beyond the boundary there, but referees disagreed. Their opinion's the only one that matters right now.
Maya Green to Bryant. She's just going to poke it across again. This Bridgewater defense is unbelievable. Stoop will send a free ball across. Maya Green up to DiNardo. Stoop again. Bridgewater, unbelievable defense. Maya Green, they're going to try it again with DiNardo. Stoop again with a dig. A killer attempt, blocked by DiNardo.
Hard-fought point right there for Lynchburg. Blood and guts kind of point because Bridgewater fielding everything. They pull a ball out of the net to keep the rally alive, but you got Leah DiNardo. She is a rally ender. Lynchburg needed that right there. Needed that. That's a point you can kind of hang your hat on in a match like this and say, okay, we got a tough one. Now let's roll. Now let's get cranked up. But as we both said, you got to have a long run from the service line. You can't just get one and done. It looks like it's one and done again for Lynchburg.
Scipione, known as really that serving maestro for this Lynchburg team, has 2 service errors already in this match. She's only been to the line twice because of it, and that'll send Alexis Curry for Bridgewater to serve it out.
Curry, a sophomore, nice mix of youth and experience for Bridgewater, part of their success.
Tori Williamson, what a smash from Williamson. A lightning bolt towards the near side corner of the court. Makes it 9-17, but again, we feel like broken records, Kyle. You get that first point, you got to be able to string more than 2, more than 3 together, especially with an 8-point deficit. Williamson will send it across. Bridgewater trying to find some free space. What a play from Hardy. Keogh will send it across, blocked at the net. Bridgewater going to try and set up. It'll be Stoop again. Cassie Blackmore will get on the end of it. DiNardo up to Keogh. She's going to try and find some space. Stoop is everywhere. Open space for Bridgewater. Maya Veselinovic. I mean, when you've got a player like Stoop who is dominant on offense and everywhere on the court for defense, it feels impossible to get it through.
And part of that point is what Bridgewater had done previously in the match. Lynchburg's back line has had to creep closer and closer to the net to try to close that donut where Bridgewater's been scoring. So now that opens up the deep shot. That opens up the back line again.
Another great defensive play from Bridgewater. Lynchburg keeps this one alive. It'll be Blackmore up to Hardy. Can't get it to go. Another good play by Bridgewater. Trying to send it across. What a dive from Abby Barlow. Kaylee Keel will now send it across. It'll be Atwell on the end. Stoop. Just going to have to send a free ball over for Bridgewater. Blackmore up for Kate Hardy once more. Finds the corner. Kate Hardy. What a hit. Threading the needle and finding another Lynchburg point.
When you can give Kate Hardy some ammunition, she can really aim and fire. Let's give Abby Barlow a lot of credit for the sequence. That's part of the reason why Abby Barlow is in. She did not play at all on Tuesday, but she is in there to keep some rallies alive like that one.
Stoop going to go for it again. Cross court. Kaylee Keogh on the other end. It's going to hit the rafters. Scipione was there for it. Keogh, what a great block from Bridgewater. Dig from Bridgewater. Barlow can't keep this one alive with a diving effort. What a great job from Anna Black. We mentioned her at the beginning of the game and how well she has done. She's a transfer from William & Mary and Eastern Mennonite University, and she's fitting right in on this game against the Hornets.
Yeah, Veselinovic, the setter, has done great work defensively. Alexis Curry, Anna Black, of course, the libero. First touch has been very sound tonight for Bridgewater.
Scipione, Hardy trying to get it, gets a block, but goes out on Bridgewater's side. And again, Lynchburg, they're trying to crawl back into this game, but they've got a large hill that they've got to climb over, an 8-point deficit. And now you've got Kate Hardy at the service line, who has struggled a little bit back there in this game.
Feels like the momentum could be shifting. We've said that multiple times. We said that a couple times in the first set. Bridgewater ends up winning it by 9. And there you go. Lynchburg cannot hold the momentum. You hate to handcuff Kate Hardy and tell her to just get one in, because that plays away from her strengths. So that's the challenge right there when you get in these situations. Yeah, you want to serve tough. You want to get balls in as well. How do you find that balance? It can be difficult, especially when the pressure is at its peak.
Stoop will send this serve across. Barlow from Maya Green. Maya Green to Jackie Bryant. What a hit, but another great job from Lynchburg. It goes back onto the Hornets side. Ava Meinhardt on your toes. A great job, great recognition, noticing that was coming right back onto your own side. Ava Meinhardt. What a hit.
Yeah, great timing there as well, because that ball went very, very high as a middle on those overpass situations. Those are a little bit harder to time up. No problem on that one for Meinhardt.
Tori Williamson checks back in for Barlow. Great job from Barlow to come in and step up in that spot. A block from Ava Meinhardt and Tori Williamson. Looks like it was just Tori Williamson. We'll call it a solo block up here, Kyle. What a great defensive play from Tori Williamson.
And finally, back-to-back points for Lynchburg. They are starting to get some traction. Still down 7, and Bridgewater has won the race to 20 again.
Keogh sends it across. It'll be Stoop from the back. Hits the top of the net, so an easy dig for Blackmore. Up for Bryant. That's blocked, kept alive, though. Bridgewater just going to have to send it across. Bryant up for Maya Green. Up to Tori. A little set was behind her, but she found some open space. 3 straight points from Tori Williamson.
Yeah, find that donut. Great play by Tori Williamson. There's the timeout from the Bridgewater Eagles. Let's keep it right here. That tells you that Bridgewater thinks that, like I do, Lynchburg is starting to get some traction in set 2.
Yeah, starting to heat up. I think this is a great head coaching call, head coaching timeout by Coach Aaron Harris. This is a great job, like we talked about. This Lynchburg, they're starting to heat up a little bit, slow things down if you're Bridgewater. Go back to what you were doing at the beginning of this second set and the entirety of that first set. Take away their star players. If you can snuff out all of Kate Hardy, you got a good chance of winning, but with how it has been in this set, it's not just Kate Hardy. Tori Williamson is starting to step up too.
No doubt about it. And we got our live stats back, by the way. Faith Depew and Reagan Stoop leading the way with 8 kills apiece for Bridgewater. Bridgewater hit 375 in set 1. It's down to 148 in set number 2. Eagles have 5 aces in set number 2, though, Ethan. That was a big difference early on to let Bridgewater get the advantage here. For Lynchburg, Kate Hardy, 6 kills. Leah DiNardo, 5. Meinhardt, 3. Keogh and Williamson, 2 apiece. Lynchburg has 2 total blocks and just 1 ace. Remember, this is a Lynchburg team that averages 2.5 aces per set. They only have 1 in the entire match right now. We are in set 2 if you're joining us late. Bridgewater took set 1, 25-16.
Haley Keogh going to try and keep this run going for Lynchburg. She'll serve it across to Bridgewater. Oh my goodness, Stoop, what reaction timing from the star player. Maya Green up to Jacqueline Bryant. She's blocked at the net. What a magnificent play from Claire Griffith. And go back to that earlier play from Stoop.
Yeah.
The reaction timing on 18 in black is incredible.
She's so skilled. She's so skilled. Think about this. She is a game changer in the back row. She's their leader in kills and kills per set and all those other things. She's an offensive weapon, but she is just as dangerous and contributes just as much when she is in the back row with her defense. And Lynchburg, maybe with a giveaway there. Now all of a sudden Bridgewater's 3 points away from going up 2 sets to none. Another change here is Jana Leak will come in as the setter for Lynchburg. Coach Cardoza is trying to go to some different options, trying to give his ball club a spark.
Well, we mentioned the passing hasn't really been amazing for Lynchburg, so Jana Leak, another depth piece that they're going to try to go to. She's going to give it to Tori Williamson. Another great save from Stoop. Oh my goodness, I'm speechless. The defense is just spectacular for the Eagles.
And that was the thinnest of spatulas as Reagan Stoop laying out with the right arm to keep that alive. Bridgewater within 2. They might win set 2 by more than they did the first one.
Cassie Blackmore will dig this up. Jana Leak up to Meinhardt. A beautiful hit, hits the rafters, comes straight down. And now you're at that 15 mark if you're Lynchburg, but I mean, it's crunch time. You don't want to go down 2 sets to nothing. We'll have Leah DiNardo check in and Meinhardt head back to the service line.
Lynchburg going up tempo again with the middle attack. Let's see if they do it again. If they get a chance in transition here.
Good serve by Meinhardt. Blocked at the net by Lynchburg, but too far in the back. Another point for Bridgewater, and we'll have set point.
Yeah, Eagles are flying high, pardon the pun, but it's pretty perfect right here. Lynchburg won't quit if they go down 2 sets to none, but that is an uphill climb, especially the way this Bridgewater team's playing.
Jana Leak up to DiNardo. DiNardo Stoop finally can't keep that one alive. We mentioned earlier she's human, but again, Stoop is human, and the defense has been phenomenal from Stoop. And we'll have Jackie Bryant now in the back for Lynchburg, trying to keep it going, trying to gain a little bit of momentum. Good defensive play from Bridgewater. They'll send it across. Dug out by Keogh. Jana Leak across to Tori Williamson. It's blocked. Trying to keep it alive. Blackmore says she'll send it across. Bridgewater fans are claiming 4 hits. What another save from Bryant. Tori Williamson will send it across. Finds some open space after it's blocked at the net. Bridgewater fans still standing on their feet telling the refs that it was 4 hits.
Yeah, Coach Erin Harris even got off her chair as well. She normally sits the entire game, and one of the assistants is the stander.
Jacqueline Bryant will serve it across once again. Oh, tried to get a quick hit going there. I really like the idea. It was Gabby Atwell that couldn't get on the end of it. A little quick set and a quick spike, but no go. And now Lynchburg, they're down by 6, but again, you have to be flawless if you want to come back in set number 2.
Yeah, bare minimum, Lynchburg's building a little bit of momentum here. Maybe some good vibes for set 3.
We'll have a net violation, it looks like. And so Bridgewater will get set point. They will take set 2. They take an early 2-0 lead, and it is looking very dim for the Lynchburg Hornets going into the 3rd set.
Yeah, Lynchburg has been swept twice this year. They don't have any reverse sweeps. That's where you go down 2 sets to none, you come back and win the next 3. But if Lynchburg wants to keep the ODAC tournament hopes alive, it will need to be a reverse sweep for Bridgewater. They're going to be looking for a sweep in this one and looking to get to the ODAC Finals for the first time in a very long time, Ethan.
They're looking for a little bit of light down a dark tunnel, like you said. Got to do it by reverse sweep. God, we'll hand set 3 back to you, but we'll be back in just a moment on LHSN and FloSports.
Set 3 about to get underway. Scenes from sets 1 and 2 that both went Bridgewater's way. Eagles take set 1, 25-16. Set 2, 25-18. I think overall we did think it was a better second set for Lynchburg, Ethan, but the Hornets just not good enough, especially against a Bridgewater team that is looking very A-plus tonight.
Yeah, you can see Coach Kevin Cardozo really going in the bag, bringing out Jane O'Leek at the end. I thought her passing looked pretty good. You look at Abby Barlow came in for Tori Williamson as a defensive specialist. I thought she stepped up and did a great job. But like you said, it was all Bridgewater. And the beginning of that set, they took an 8-1 lead and never looked back. And I feel like that was a huge problem for Lynchburg, where you go down that heavy in set number 2. It's really tough to come back.
Well, think about some stats right here. In Bridgewater, +9 in set 1, +7 in set 2, right? Bridgewater actually in the match only has 2 more total kills than Lynchburg. Bridgewater has 26, Lynchburg has 24. Here's where the problems are. Lynchburg has 11 attacking errors. They have 7 service errors to just 1 ace. Bridgewater, meanwhile, 5 aces, 1 error. By the way, Bridgewater has more block points, 5 to Lynchburg's 2. Lynchburg has 5 reception errors. Bridgewater just 1. Eagles are playing a clean game of volleyball right now, and it's showing up in the stat sheets. We know how dangerous Lynchburg can be offensively. They got to do some things just to get more offensive looks, keep some rallies alive, keep some serves in.
Yeah, better communication is really what's going to have to come into play. Like you said, 18 combined errors from the service line and up front. I mean, they're almost giving Bridgewater an entire set, so you really got to find a way to clean up the mental mistakes and the up front mistakes.
Attack percentage for Bridgewater in the match, .297. There's a pinball play that Lynchburg kept alive. Blackmore with the platform to send it over. Good watchful eye from Kaylee Keogh to let that one go. So there's an early Lynchburg point, and one that will go down as an attacking error for Bridgewater.
Yeah, it was a great serve from Scipione, which is good to see if you're a Lynchburg fan, because she has had 2 errors and really hasn't been at the line.
Eagles going to get in system here, and yeah, they made it work in system. Faith Depew, another bomber correction. I believe it was Claire Griffith on that shot, as she will check out to some handshakes. Tie set 3 here at 1-1. Lynchburg will need to win the next 3. Bridgewater leads 2-0. Winner of this one takes on the winner of Washington and Lee and Virginia Wesleyan. That game going on down in Virginia Beach right now. We'll try to get you a score when we wrap this one up. Crowd's still into it for Lynchburg. The Hornet fans haven't stopped fighting.
Yeah, and I think if you're the Lynchburg players, that's all you really need. If they believe in you, you got to believe in yourself. As another service error. That's the 19th error for the Hornets.
Yeah, 8 of those from the service line. But my colleague is absolutely right about Lynchburg. When you add up the different variety of errors, it speaks to the fact that they haven't really had their best stuff for most of this. Barlow's back in the game. There's Leah DiNardo. Couldn't find the space, but it will hit the rafters on the first touch from Reagan Stoop and lead to a kill for Leah DiNardo. DiNardo out, Ava Meinhardt in, Cassie Blackmore to serve. Lynchburg, we mentioned serving such a big part of their game. 2.5 aces per set. In addition to that, just a tough serving makes it difficult on the other team to score and run their offense. Reagan Stoop, take 2, dug up by Abby Barlow. Here comes our best rally of the second set so far. Blackmore with a self-defense move. Keogh, soft touch free ball. That was Alford that went on 1. Lynchburg will score it. Kate Hardy found some space on the hardwood. Hornets by 2. I think this match is their biggest lead of the match that came in early in set 1.
Yeah, a really great rally from both these teams. We were trying to, it looked like we were getting some set or kill attempts from Vasilinovic, but a great job from Lynchburg, and Barlow just misses that one.
Eagles side out and get the ball back. It's been such a big part of Bridgewater's success tonight. They have not let Lynchburg serve for very long. Here's Lindsay Kelly, listed as a sophomore setter. She's in to serve. We saw this in set 1. It has been Maya Veselovic doing most of the setting, but Lindsay Kelly has come in to serve. Lynchburg will get the ball right back with Kate Hardy to serve.
Another service error for Bridgewater. If you're Lynchburg, you got to take advantage of this slim opportunity that the Eagles are giving you.
Hardy looked like maybe she did just try to keep that ball in. It wasn't quite the heater, and it will lead to a Lynchburg point. So you see the value of that right there. Now, maybe on the second serve, Kate Hardy will go back to the big boomer, perhaps. Maybe that's the way to go. Let me just get a few in. Don't be so power-focused. And then as you start to get more feel from that service line, turn it loose. No, lower toss. Not a bad serve, though, that Black will take the first touch. Depew picks out Barlow, back line. Here's Keogh from off court into the net. Lynchburg ended up touching that 4 times for a Bridgewater point.
A great play from Abby Barlow. Again, we recognized how she came into that second set, really stepped up when Lynchburg needed some defense, and she'll stay in the match. And Jana Leak will now check in and become the setter for the Hornets.
Let me just, speaking of setters, throw out another apology. Veselinovic. And she's just a first year, Ethan, so we better get used to saying that name. She's a fantastic setter for Bridgewater. Lynchburg has their setter, Jana Leak, and she'll time up Ava Meinhardt perfectly. Lynchburg by 3. Great connection there, Leak to Meinhardt.
And again, this is the semifinal of the ODAC tournament. It really comes down to who's going to step up on this Lynchburg bench when your starters and your star players aren't playing as well as they should be. And right now, Coach Kevin Cardoza, he's looking for Jana Leak and Abby Barlow.
Well, why not go to some of your seniors and your grad students like Jana Leak, Williamsburg, Virginia? She's a coach herself in the offseason, working with some club teams. Jana Leak had one of the best seasons in Lynchburg history last year, setting the volleyball. So she's not a stranger to this at all, not a stranger to the big moments at all. Lynchburg did lose in the ODAC semifinal last year on the road in Lexington to Washington and Lee. Nice rally developing here as we give you some stats. Nice read by Jacqueline Bryant. That one went right by the eyes and shoulders of Jackie Bryant, but she kind of felt where she was at on the court, Ethan, and let it go.
Yeah, it looked like Bridgewater had thread the needle once again, but thread the needle a little maybe too much, and you give Lynchburg another point. You're up by 3. You got to keep going. You got to keep firing on all cylinders.
Ava Meinhardt with the serve. Good block up front by Lynchburg, having to swat at it again. That was DiNardo with a couple whacks at the apple. Leak will run down the high pass. DiNardo, another fantastic dig by Stoop, but DiNardo took care of the overpass with a hammer. Big sequence for Leah DiNardo. She had her hands all over the volleyball in that stretch.
Leah the Machine DiNardo, again, you got to give credit to Jana Leak. She's been doing a great job since she stepped in, but a huge hit, 2 huge hits from Leah DiNardo.
It's getting fun now. Lynchburg by 4. Can you imagine this place if Lynchburg just wins a set? And then don't even think about a set 5. Leak couldn't get to that one. Great effort again from the Bridgewater middles. Gabby Atwell, Agnes Alford, they have really been sharp and probably under attention paid by us as far as how good the middles are for Bridgewater. Here's the Lynchburg middle. Yeah, Leah DiNardo, one of the best in the business from the middle. Big point right there by DiNardo. She's got the team high attack percentage, over 315 coming into the match. Shots like that make you realize why.
And in times like this, you got to go to the hot hand, and right now that is Leah DiNardo.
Hornets by 4. And Lynchburg with a chance to attack here. Leak wants DiNardo again. She gets her. Stoop is there. Did touch the rafters. Play on, though. Good defensive work by Bridgewater. This time, Leak's going to go for Tori Williamson. That one's stymied. And there's the high hops from Gabby Atwell. Middle play again on display and in focus.
It looked like DiNardo and Leak just kind of mistimed their block. They thought it was going to be a quick set and hit for Bridgewater, and they just take their time, and it looked like it was really just wide open at the net for them to go wherever they wanted.
Kate Hardy and Alexis Scipione back on court for Lynchburg. Both teams really do nicely using these different rotations, getting players in spots where they can contribute and do meaningful things for their ball club. Reagan Stoops, she's that 6 rotation player. She never comes off the court. Hardy will get to that one and get sent back. Gabby Atwell and the setter, Veselinovic, with a great block. Blocking's been underrated, I think, too, for Bridgewater. Eagles, that'll be total block number 6 for the visitors.
And I completely agree. The blocking has been magnificent. Even if they don't block it and send it back towards Lynchburg's side, they give their players in the back a chance to keep the ball off.
Yeah, those positive block touches, nothing the block could do that time, as Kate Hardy was on the move and just threw a bolt down. 11-8, Hornets by 3. If you're Lynchburg, do not get sloppy here and let this lead slip away. You'll give the Bridgewater fans more to cheer about. Stoop will free ball that one over the line. Scipione to DiNardo. Yeah, one more time for destructive Leah DiNardo.
Leah the Machine DiNardo, the gears are starting to turn for her and her offense. A timeout called by Coach Aaron Harrison. This is what you want if you're Lynchburg.
I'm not sure we've taken any timeouts tonight, so let's step aside for a breather. We're in the middle of set 3. Lynchburg 12-8. Bridgewater up on top, 2-0. Lynchburg has actually never been down 2-0 this season. Hornets have had some 5-setters. Lynchburg is 4-1 in 5-set affairs, Ethan, but they've never been down 2-0. So this is sort of uncharted waters here for Lynchburg. We think they're probably having their best set of the night so far, leading by 4.
Yeah, I completely agree. We talked about in that second set how it's a little bit of a hill you've got to climb. Now it's a mountain, and you got to claw your way back. We mentioned during the break, it's going to be a dogfight if they want to come back and win this.
Just 2 5-setters on the scorecard this year for Bridgewater. Looks like they are 1-1 in 5-set matches, but we're not even close to that. We're still in set 3. We're just collecting some theories here in case Lynchburg does fight their way back in. Bridgewater would love to get a road sweep. Talk about the confidence that would give you going into an ODAC final for the Eagles. It would be on the, oh, what a shot by Leah DiNardo. That'll stop your comment right in the tracks there, as DiNardo seems to really be finding her footing in set 3.
Yeah, great player. Again, you got to look to somebody that has to step up in this ball game, and so far in this third set, it has been Leah DiNardo.
DiNardo, she's up to 10 terminations with no errors. She's hitting an astronomical 647 right now. That ball out. 13-10 is our score. Bridgewater is the 3 seed. So if the Eagles win this game, they would travel to Virginia Wesleyan if the Marlins get a victory. But Bridgewater could potentially host if Washington and Lee throws the upset down in Virginia Beach tonight. Keogh, nice job to hang and adjust. Here's Black with a set for Depew. Depew rejected. Reagan Stoop. Depew take 2. Same result. Back-to-back stuffs, but we play on. Long rally developing. Oh, what a battle there. And again, the donut is in play for Reagan Stoop.
And I like the aggressiveness from Kate Hardy. That ball is up in no man's land on top of the net, but I feel like at this point, you're down 2 sets, only up by 3 at the time. Now you're down or up by 2. I feel like you just got to keep it, play it slow, collect it, and let your offense go to work.
Agnes Alford Reagan Stoop, and Faith Depew in the front row right now for Bridgewater. Hornets by 2. Setter attack, perfectly placed by Alexis Scipione for the kill.
If you're going to want to come back and get that reverse sweep, you got to pull out all the stops. You've got to try everything and make sure that they're going to work. A great heads-up play by Scipione.
I wonder if you could do that more, then that opens up your pin hitters a little bit more if you're Lynchburg. A lot of times setters do that on their own, but that might have been in the ear from Coach Kevin Cardoza. Hey, let's look to dump a little bit more. Meinhardt, that one got slowed down by the positive block touch. Hit the rafters. Stoop will adjust. Lynchburg's going to re-attack. What a fireball from Kaylee Keough that stays up for Bridgewater. Stoop. Abby Barlow. Scipione runs it down. Hardy with a touch shot to drop it in over. Great rally right there. Both sides had things they had to love, but in the end, Lynchburg goes to Hardy to end the rally.
And I think that rally really sums up this third set. Both teams are giving it their all. The Raptors look like it might have helped Bridgewater there and kept it up there, but Lynchburg really taking care of business there.
Hardy, shorter toss, wants to get it in. Black is there for Bridgewater. Slide play for Alford, good strike. Hornets in transition, off the block and out for Kaylee Keough. 16-11 Lynchburg, KK's third kill of the evening. Another timeout on the court. Let's stay right here. Great swing by KK. Nice react there. And now the gym is feeling more like what Lynchburg is accustomed to. They have not been down 2-0 any this season, and they really haven't been down at home much at all. Ethan, let's while you talk, I'm going to find out how many times Lynchburg has lost a set at home, because it's not many.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for you to find, so I don't know. I might have to talk for a little bit, Calvin. If you were a neutral fan coming into this game, you wouldn't know who's winning, because the Bridgewater fans, they're still hyped because they're up 2-0, but this Lynchburg crew, the Lynchburg students and faculty and parents, they're still up. They're still hyped. They think, they believe they can come back. And if you're the Lynchburg players, you look at that and you say, if they know that we can come back, then I know that we can come back. And if you're Bridgewater, you're laughing at them. You think we've been playing our lights out offense and defense. If you're Bridgewater, you're thinking, we're just going to keep going right at it, and we're going to shut you up after we win this third set. Or if we don't win the third set, we're going to try and win that fourth set.
I was actually intrigued by what you were saying, and I got sidetracked, and I stopped doing my mission there, counted up in between sets. If we haven't set 4, Lynchburg is up by 5. But if we get to set 4, I'll do some more homework here and find out how many times Lynchburg has lost a set at home this year. I don't know. If we get another little slowdown, I might be able to figure it out. What you got?
We'll have to give some credit to whoever's running the music here for Lynchburg. Playing Journey, Don't Stop Believing, that's a classic. I mean,
that is a classic.
It's a perfect song for what Lynchburg needs right now.
All right, well, I've got the last time Lynchburg dropped a set at home. Again, Alford in the middle. Agnes Alford, 5'11", sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina. Great shot right there. Go back to October the 4th. It was a home match against Shenandoah. Lynchburg did win that one 3-1. Hornets went up 2-0. Shenandoah won set 3. That was the last time Lynchburg dropped a set in this gymnasium. Hornets by 4 right now, down 2-0. Oh, and it was out. Jacqueline Bryant can't believe it. The entire Lynchburg side can't believe it. Hornets are just going to move on, as you saw some people trying to pump up Jackie Bryant and give her the, hey, nice shot. Here's Stoop with that dangerous float serve. Barlow's pass was tight to the net. Jana Leak, the setter, made it work. And there's a stop from Ava Meinhardt. Solo stuff for the Great Wall of Lynchburg.
What a block from Ava Meinhardt. These Lynchburg players, they feel like it's themselves against the world. Everybody stepping up on the bench for Lynchburg. We saw Morgan Clark step in a little bit for Cassie Blackmore. She played a huge part. Again, Abby Barlow and Jana Lee making their statements in the most important games of their career.
Tori Williamson is there for that one for Lynchburg. Jacqueline Bryant, who's been playing well. This might lead to a point. It's going to lead to a free ball anyway for Lynchburg. First touch from Meinhardt. She'll take 1 and 3, but it's wide left, sent out of play. And Bridgewater still fighting. We had to say in sets 1 and 2 a lot, Lynchburg was still fighting, but Bridgewater still fighting with the libero Anna Black to serve. 5'4" senior from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Speaking of liberos, Morgan Clark is in as the libero for Lynchburg. Faith Depew with a steamer that will stay on the Lynchburg side somehow. There's where the rafters help out. Hornets got a break there. Morgan Clark in the game and getting a nice touch. Blocked up front. It's Gabby Atwell and Faith Depew teaming up for another castle on the near right side.
Got to admit, it was another great timeout for Coach Aaron Harris. Lynchburg started to get a little bit of momentum, not only with the players, but the fans. They shut everything down. Now you're only down by 2.
That one wasn't close. Easy read for the Lynchburg back line to side out and take a 3-point lead. Leah DiNardo is back in the ball game. No libero on court right now. Ava Meinhardt, the other middle, to serve for Lynchburg. Fun match. Fun match so far. Bridgewater leads 2-0. Lynchburg's still going to have to play great. Platform from Leak to set up Tori Williamson, handled by Stoop. Setter attack there, and it works. Lindsay Kelly in the game as the setter for Bridgewater. She'll get her shots and score.
Leah DiNardo tried to just get a touch to keep it alive. She wasn't sure who was behind her, how much space there was behind her for that ball to drop into. So I like the call from DiNardo to try and keep it alive, but that's a tough play.
Lindsay Kelly now has 2 kills. The other setter for Bridgewater, Veselinovich, has 3 terminations herself, so 5 kills for the setters from Bridgewater. Lynchburg's done a little bit of that as well with Alexis Scipione. Has a kill. Leak and Maya Green have none right now. Bridgewater clawing back in it again. 19-17. Eagles down 2 again. Here comes the changes for Lynchburg. Bryant and Alexis Scipione back in.
Kate Hardy, she's been a player that's stepped up all season. You've had a rough start to this semifinal matchup. Right now is the time to clear everything that's happened and go to work.
Scipione on her bicycle to set Kate Hardy, and that will lead to a Lynchburg point. Anna Black was kind of in that zone of indecision, didn't know whether to play or leave. She stuck an arm out and it ricocheted into the scorer's table.
And what a set from Scipione. She was going backwards and kept that one alive, put it on a platter for Kate Hardy, and just an amazing hit from number 22 in red.
That's what you need from your setters in those big moments. Go run down those passes that might not be perfect. Get your hands on it. Great play. Reagan Stoop stalled out with a nice block for Lynchburg. In transition, Hardy with the soft touch to find the floor. Here we go. Kate Hardy back-to-back points. She is accelerating. Lynchburg is 4 away from a set 3 win.
And again, in moments like this, you've had a couple players on the Lynchburg bench that have stepped up. I'll repeat them again. Jana Leak, Barlow, Clark. And now it's time when you get a little bit of a run, a huge ace from Tori Williamson. You go on a little bit of a run, and now's when your star players start to step up in Tori Williamson and Kate Hardy.
Just the second ace of the ball game for Lynchburg. First since early in set 1. 22-17 Hornets. What a match so far. And we've got more plot twists to come. Solid blocking from Lynchburg. Ooh, strong roll shot there for Bridgewater, but it's too strong. And give Lynchburg's good blocking some credit in that exchange right there as Alexis Curry couldn't get it to fall.
Well, you had DiNardo and Hardy that were able to block Stoop. That doesn't happen very often.
Lynchburg needs 2. They lead by 5. Great diving dig from Tori Williamson. She'll take 1 and 3, but her roll shot not high enough. Bridgewater hasn't lost the energy as far as their players are concerned. I don't think their fans have lost as much energy either. Both fan sections are going to sleep well tonight. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to jump and yell and scream like these ladies and gentlemen are doing. Gabby Atwell serving, senior from Harrisonburg. Leah DiNardo, the machine, taking it to Pound Town again. Lynchburg needs one to keep this match alive and go to set 4.
And this is huge. After you've really been dominated the first 2 sets, now you have a time to close it out, stay alive with a ton of momentum on your own side.
Cassie Blackmore to serve it for Lynchburg. See if they can finish it off. Nope, Stoop will have a say. Net contact by the Hornets. Net contact. And that will give Bridgewater a reprieve. 24-19. Morgan Clark is in the ball game. 3 very good back row passers for Lynchburg with Clark, Abby Barlow, and Kaylee Keogh. Up front, you've got Meinhardt, Scipione, and Hardy. Scipione to KK from the back row. Stopped. Blocking has been solid for Bridgewater. Blocking continues to be solid for Bridgewater. 8th block point of the match, Ethan.
Yeah, it's been an outstanding display of defense. It's like a stone wall in front of that net for Bridgewater.
Meinhardt to try to finish off set 3. Not yet. And really not yet as Agnes Alford delivers again. 6th kill of the night for Alford. Timeout on the court. Let's stay right here. Bridgewater, it's the lowest attack percentage of any of the sets at 122, but they are not completely extinguished in set 3. It's Lynchburg by 3, 24-21. Lynchburg's actually hitting under 200. It's 154 right now for Lynchburg, but the Hornets have done enough to stake themselves to a lead. Let's see, it was set point at 24-19. We'll see how many set points Bridgewater can stave off. They might get into an extra point scenario.
Yeah, and I think if you're Coach Harris, you love what your squad's doing. It's set point for, we've had 2 set points now going on the 3rd after this timeout, but you're clawing back. You're starting to get this Lynchburg squad to think, ooh, are they going to come back and send it into extra points like you just mentioned? But even if you lose this 3rd set and the Hornets find that final point for this 3rd set, you got to think if you're Coach Harris, my squad started to come back. This is great going into a 4th set.
Yeah, it's actually 3 consecutive points for Bridgewater, so we were both wrong. Lynchburg has had 3 set points. It was 24-18. Good timeout. Lynchburg has 1 break remaining should they need it in set 3. 24-21, Lynchburg down 2 sets to none. They must win to stay alive. Remember, it's best 3 out of 5. If we get to the decisive 5th set, that's a race to 15. You still have to win by 2. Bridgewater in black, serving down 3. Barlow, Scipione, Hardy. There we go. That's a set 3 victory for Lynchburg. Go to your assassin. Go to Kate Hardy, who really has breathed some major life into this match. Lynchburg 25-21. No sweep tonight. We go to set 4 inside Turner. We're back in just a second on LHSN and FloSports. Welcome back inside a noisy Turner Gymnasium. We're on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Hornets hosting the Eagles. Lynchburg, the 2nd seed. Bridgewater, the 3 seed. These two teams met back on September 19th. 4-set affair there, Ethan, but that was a 4-set Lynchburg win. Very different flavor to this matchup tonight.
Yeah, Bridgewater trying to get some revenge. Stoop trying to rally the troops. And Lynchburg, they went down 2-0, but they showed signs of life in set number 3, sent it to a 4th set. It really is going to come down to how you come out of that 3rd set timeout. It's really going to come down to how well you start off this 4th set, though.
Reagan Stoop leads Bridgewater with 11 kills. DiNardo and Hardy with a dozen terminations apiece to lead Lynchburg. Here we go, set 4 underway. Bridgewater leads 2-1. Didn't start well there for Lynchburg. Although, is there some confusion about that? Kevin Cardoza, the head coach for Lynchburg, on his feet, asking questions. Maybe Coach K thinks Bridgewater was in the net first there, potentially?
Yeah, I actually saw Emma Cash on the sidelines motioning that was on Bridgewater, but I don't think that they're going to reverse the call here. Again, we have the luxury of going to replay whenever we can, but they unfortunately don't have that.
Alexis Curry serving for Bridgewater, leading 2-1. Williamson and Morgan Clark were kind of connected. Lynchburg made it work, but the strike from the middle is too strong, and the Eagles go up 2-0. Now, again, this is sort of reminiscent of sets 1 and 2. If you're Lynchburg, be very cautious right here. And I say that, Ethan, it's hard to play cautious, isn't it?
Yeah, especially with this Lynchburg team, because all year they've played so aggressive. You really just got to focus on getting that first point.
Bridgewater coming out smoking 3-0 the early advantage. Eagles had 5 sets coming into set 4 here, and they were all actually in set 2. Lynchburg with just 2 aces. Bridgewater should now have 6. I think that one will go down as an ace. And this will definitely be an ace off the tech. 4-0 lead for Bridgewater. Alexis Curry, she's getting rhythm back there. She'll get more dangerous the longer she stays back there to serve. 39 aces coming into the match. She has the team lead in that category. Clark with a pass tight to the net. Hardy, too much on the push. 5-0 Eagles. I think Kevin Cardoza is thinking about a timeout now. Yes, Lynchburg is taking time right now. Bridgewater rolling early to sophomore Alexis Curry, getting it done from the service line.
Yeah, the serving really is what it's been all this 4th set, where they really haven't been able to get any clean balls to Scipione. And if you get her off of her guard, where she's got to make some tough sets, it really makes it tough for the outside hitters. And so that's really been the name of this 4th set so far. I mean, you got a big 5-point lead. It goes back to the end of the 3rd set, I think, where, yes, Lynchburg had that set point for 4 or 5 points, but that Bridgewater squad, they started to trickle back, started to figure out what they were doing wrong, and got a little bit of momentum, even though Lynchburg won that 3rd set.
Give you a stat right here that tells a lot about set 4, but it's also a reflection of the entire match, Ethan. Bridgewater, they lead 5-0 right now. They don't have a kill yet in set 4. It's the aces and the misplays from Lynchburg, and we have seen a lot of that tonight. That's been part of our dialogue all night. Lynchburg just not quite sharp enough when they needed to be.
Yeah, 21 attacking errors for Lynchburg, 9 service errors. You're giving Bridgewater a lot of free points, and that is the reason why you go back to set 2. They went up 8-1. It's a big reason why they've gotten a ton of their leads.
Give Bridgewater a lot of credit for forcing the issue, adding some extra pressure to Lynchburg. And I don't want to blame all these miscues on the pressure for Lynchburg. Sometimes you just don't play well, individually or as a team. Nice job by DiNardo to bop that one over with the right hand. A heavy spinning ball that will hit the floor. And finally Lynchburg on the board in set 4. They'll need to erase this deficit sooner rather than later.
Well, going back to what you said, this is a huge game for a lot of these people where they've been in the semifinal, but not with their team being this great.
Those weight of expectations can be a burden sometimes. Hasn't been for this Lynchburg team. I think they played pretty carefree. My goodness, solo block from Leah DiNardo. Getting off the trampoline to shut that shot down.
She had the hot hand in the beginning of the third set, which really jolted Lynchburg to go on and win that. You keep giving her the rock. Keep letting her go do her thing up at the net.
Tori Williamson serving for Lynchburg. Oh, nice shot there on the middle. Gabby Atwell, fine touch on that. That's one of those that feels more like a throw. There's not like a hard contact and separation off the hand, but some of that is just how clean Atwell is. That's a really good looking touch. Eagles by 4. Remember, they did take set 1 by 9. 7-point win in set 2. Hardy looking for the far corner. Can't find the bullseye.
Again, a big reason why Lynchburg started to separate last set is that Kate Hardy started to get into a groove, started to get into her motion, playing her type of game. She's got to figure out how to recreate that in this fourth set.
Abby Barlow to Scipione. Kaylee Keogh, firm hand on that one. Free ball coming for Lynchburg. Who gets the shot? DiNardo tips it down. Beautiful touch. She's got shots galore too. Great play by Leah DiNardo.
And that's great recognition. It was a little bit of a misset on the Bridgewater side with Vilisanovic, and so people started to scramble a little bit, and DiNardo, she saw open space and went for glory.
Reagan Stute. Might have been the first swing of the set 4 for Reagan Stute. Bridgewater by 4. Here comes take 2 for Stute. That one will find the outstretched arm of Cassie Blackmore for a Bridgewater point.
Went to Stute once, and she was able to be defended. You go to her twice. It's tough to block her. It's tough to be able to recover any sort of hit she throws at you.
12 terminations for Reagan Stute. 15th time she's had double-digit kills this year. She's actually missed some sets this year as well with injury. Kaylee Keogh has missed the court with the right arm. 9-3, Eagles by 6. Feeling like set 1 and 2 all over again for Lynchburg.
Yeah, it seems like Lynchburg got that momentum of winning set 3. They're trying to go back to their original ways. They're trying to play that aggressive style of volleyball, but the errors are still popping up. They've got to find a way to fix that.
Reagan Stute, let me give you her entire stat line. She was involved in a block attempt there that will lead to a Lynchburg point. But for Stute, 12 kills, 2 assists, 1 ace, 8 digs, 2 block assists. She really does everything for this Bridgewater team, and she does everything at a high level. 9-5. Hardy, shorter toss, still a pretty bullet serve though. Oh, good swipe by Ava Meinhardt. You see how that time she didn't try to go straight down on that ball, Ethan, kind of swiped across right to left.
Yeah, she did get way over that net, as I would assume that's what Coach Aaron Harris is trying to plead towards the refs about. But another great recognition play from this front line. You got to start stacking plays like that together. You got to get this crowd back more involved.
Exactly right. Bullet serve from Kate Hardy hits the top of the tape and drops down. Another situation where the Eagles are doubling up the Lynchburg Hornets. Jackie Bryant in the ball game, and so is Jana Leak. Reagan Stute to serve for Bridgewater. In the first meeting back on September 19th, Lynchburg really dominated every statistical category. They out-hit Bridgewater 222 to 132. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. There's a smash right there for number 9, Faith Depew. 5'10" senior from Virginia Beach, cranking that one.
Like you mentioned, it feels like set 1 and 2 where Bridgewater started off hot and they really have just put their foot on the gas pedal.
The Eagles really maximizing the moment. Still work to do. Leading 2-1. Lynchburg with a little tag team stop over there. Kaylee Keogh and Ava Meinhardt. Here's Tori Williamson back in the ball game.
Cassie Blackmore will also check in. Again, players off the bench, they're stepping up. It's these starters that really have got to get something going like they did in that third set.
Pretty good serve from Keogh. Mishit there on the high toss to Agnes Alford. Alford has impressed me. She hasn't made a ton of mistakes, but she would like to have that one back. Looks like it's error number 2 of the match for her.
I mentioned that she hasn't made that many mistakes. This is the time for Lynchburg to try and take advantage of these mistakes.
Yeah, can you force a bit more on the mistake side? That's what you're hoping if you're Lynchburg. Roll shot from Jackie Bryant, picks out Reagan Stoop. Near side block, play on. Close to the pin. They got it around. Bridgewater player was having a conversation with the ref while it was going on. Ava Meinhardt will win the point for Lynchburg and get the Hornets within 3.
Yeah, another good rally for both these teams. We had a lot of fantastic ones in set 3. We imagine we're going to get the same in set 4, just like what we just had. And a great job from Ava Meinhardt to stay in the play. Keep your heart and mind in the play.
Claire Griffith, the first touch. Deep back set there. Pretty good play. Lynchburg, a chance to score, though. Jackie Bryant sent back. What a stab at it by Kaylee Keogh. Lynchburg cannot deliver, though. Agnes Alford climbing up high. Claire Griffith, number 6, has done some good things for Bridgewater as well. And she's not a skyscraper. 5'6" for Claire Griffith, but she really plays large up front. Anna Black to serve for the Eagles. Sent it to her counterpart in black. That's libero Morgan Clark. Another one of those kind of weird-looking throw over-the-shoulder shots. DePue. Clark is there. Jana Leak, cross-court for Tori Williamson. Play on. Fantastic rally. There's Claire Griffith. Blocked. Great effort from Reagan Stoop, but it's a Lynchburg point.
These Lynchburg fans starting to get out of their feet. Casey Kelly, women's basketball, she's getting out of her seat. She's dancing on the sidelines. This Lynchburg team, again, fans are getting into it. You got to find a way to keep this momentum going. You've cut it down to a 3-point lead. Now it's time to start getting to a 2-point lead or a 1-point lead.
Yeah, keep the fans in it. That won't work. Ava Meinhardt, aggressive. Too much mustard on that shot. Bridgewater to serve. Looks like Faith DePue waiting on a volleyball. She'll get it with her team leading 13-9. Boy, this has been exciting. I mean, this has had everything we thought it would, and it's had a little bit more at times as well. DiNardo in-air adjustment. Bridgewater will adjust. Now Lynchburg, a chance to attack. Touch from DiNardo, and it's down. Nice effort from Black, but DiNardo just too smooth.
Going back, another great defensive effort from Bridgewater. Stoop, it just seems like she's that scapegoat for this team where no matter what happens in front of the net, somebody's going to get a touch. Stoop is always there to recover.
Oh, she's a protagonist for sure. She's got the main character energy. Stoop's going to take 1 and 3. Blackmore calls everybody off to bump set Tori Williamson. Anna Black with a nice play. Oop, little miscommunication on the set that time will lead to a Lynchburg point. Hornets are closing. Down by 2, down 2 sets to 1.
And we saw that mistake earlier in set 4 where it was a little bit of a miscue between the setter and the outside hitter.
Overpass. DiNardo with the touch. Little roll reversal there as DiNardo set up Jana Leak. Stoop's going to push one over. There's DiNardo again. Leak wants Tori Williamson. Block, got her own cover. Lynchburg on the rebuild. Trouble, but Williamson kept it alive. Scramble play here, and play on. Jana Leak, this time, DiNardo, one more time. Look at Reagan Stoop. How good is that? Claire Griffith, cross court. Blackmore's there. What a rally. Best of the night. Lynchburg with too many touches after Williamson sent it into the twine. Wow. Give me an oxygen mask after that rally.
A very scrappy rally for both these teams. Another great effort from Stoop to keep that alive. A big hit from DiNardo. Ball hung up in the rafters again. Helped out Bridgewater a little bit, but that's something that it's happened to both these teams. Both these teams have been helped by the Raptors, and the Raptors have done the opposite and just destroyed them. So it's both these squads dealing with the same problems. Bridgewater just doing a little bit better in that column.
Alexis Curry, team leader in aces. She has 2 in this set. That's how set 4 began with Alexis Curry. A 5-0 run from the service line for Bridgewater. Kate Hardy off the high hands and out. Welcome back to the court, Kate Hardy, termination number 14.
You got to imagine Kate Hardy, when she checked in, went up to everybody in the huddle and said, give me the ball, I want to get this point, and keep giving me the ball because I want the hot hand.
Yeah, I would be surprised if that wasn't part of her messaging when she came on court. Good call. Reagan Stoop had to adjust to an awkward set. Lynchburg down by 2. Hardy, other side, rolls it over, top spin. That should be too many touches for Bridgewater, right? Okay, it's just a soft whistle. And that's, again, the crowd is so loud, sometimes the refs blow that whistle and you really don't hear it.
Yeah, we saw DiNardo after that hit. She was waving her hand saying that was 4, that was 4. So a good call from DiNardo. And Lynchburg, you're only down by 1 point. How wild would this crowd get if they could pull off this 4th set?
We might find out right here. Stoop got slowed down by a block. Hardy with 2 hands over. See where Bridgewater goes. Middle attempt. Nice sliding one-hander by Kaylee Keogh. Another free ball for the Eagles. Let's see if they can pounce. Middle again. Off the net. Hardy somehow. Houdini-like. Reagan Stoop. Softer touch and out. And we are tied up. 14 apiece in set number 4. Kevin Cardoza is pumped. Lynchburg has battled back from a 5-0 hole to begin the set. And they have a chance to maybe, just maybe, take control in set 4 and send it to the winner-take-all set 5, keeping it right here. What a night for the volleyball lovers.
I got to tell you, Kyle, I've seen Coach Kevin Cardoza coach a lot of games here at Lynchburg. I talk to him every day. Our offices are right next to each other. I have never seen him that animated during a volleyball game. The last time he was that animated was a year ago, over a year ago now, when they won that quarterfinal matchup to get them to the semis. He's pumped up, and if I'm a player, that fires me up too.
No doubt about it. You feed off of that. His energy is contagious. Just his mannerisms and the way he talks to you is contagious. Kevin Cardoza in his 2nd season here at the University of Lynchburg. Lynchburg, by the totals I'm seeing, has won 5 of the last 6 points. 5 of the last 6 points in this fight back for Lynchburg, and they are still down 2-1. They will need to win here to send it to that winner-take-all set 5. That's the thing about that reverse sweep, though. When you lose sets 1 and 2, but come back and win sets 3 and 4, now you have all the momentum. The team that has extended the match seems to have all the momentum in those scenarios.
Momentum swung right into Lynchburg's side for, like you said, the last couple points. Just imagine if this were a set 5, it'd be 14-14, just 1 or 2 points to go. But we've got a whole nother, feels like half of a set to go if we get to that set 5.
Tori Williamson will serve. Lynchburg looking to take their first lead of set 4. Not right now. Reagan Stoop taking control for one more 13th kill of the night for Stoop.
We talked about how when Kate Hardy came in, she was more than likely saying, get me the ball. I imagine in that timeout, Coach Harris and Stoop were saying, get Stoop the ball, get me the ball. I want to fire it through there and shut these fans down.
You got to love it. Eagles by 1 again. Kaylee Keogh, teardrop, nope. Play on, Scipione had to clear her teammates out of the way to get to that one. Rocket from Kaylee Keogh. Here's Reagan Stoop one more time. Keogh's there. This time it's a middle attack. DiNardo with a rare miss. That is just Leah DiNardo's 2nd error of the match. The attack percentage was over 600 for Leah, the machine DiNardo. Might dip below it after that miss hit. 2 in a row out of the timeout for Bridgewater. Good timeout, you have to say, for the Eagles. Wow, heavy-handed from Kaylee Keogh. That was an absolute belter.
What a set from Abby Barlow, about halfway back from the court. Remember, she's the defensive specialist right now. To be able to put it on a platter for KK, that is a beautiful all-around offensive play from Lynchburg.
Yeah, really impressive there. Hornets within 1 again. Tip drill, Stoop, fires. There's Blackmore. Kaylee Keogh blocked. Lynchburg on the rebuild. Hardy got a decent swing, and it will lead to a point. We're tied up again, 16 apiece.
Another sort of scrappy rally for both of these teams. Lynchburg came out on top. Kate Hardy, we mentioned it in that first set that a lot of the passes she had been getting were not really forward, so that was another example of it, but she just got it to go. Beautiful hit.
Self-defense by Scipione. Lynchburg out of system. Now they can get Scipione the set. Hardy, bingo! Lynchburg leads.
Kate Hardy, the transfer grad student from Mercer. We mention it every game. Why not now? Strictly beach volleyball down at Mercer, comes up here, joins the indoor team, and has just flipped everything on this program like a light.
3 in a row for Lynchburg. Points, that is. Kaylee Keogh. Stoop is there. Another over-the-shoulder shot. How about Meinhardt's turn? Play on. Good rally. Blackmore diving. Hardy, one more. Found the floor! Back-to-back points for Kate Hardy. So saucy right there for the transfer.
Kate Hardy said, thank you, I will have another, and we will get another timeout. Kevin Cardoza is still fired up.
4 points in a row for Lynchburg. They tied it up at 14 apiece. Bridgewater took time. We thought it was a pretty good timeout call by Erin Harris in her 15th season. And now Lynchburg is storming again on top by 2. So Erin Harris will use the final timeout of set 4. And worth pointing out again, Lynchburg does trail 2-1. Bridgewater came out of the gates hot, looking very much like a championship team. Bridgewater looking like a team that wants to extend their season. Worth pointing out again, Lynchburg, because of their NPI, which is number 14 in the country, will advance to the NCAA tournament regardless of result here in the ODAC tournament. Bridgewater is not in the same boat. Bridgewater right now 46th in those NPI rankings, Ethan, so they're kind of on that bubble watch, if you will.
Yeah, and if
unless they win the tournament, of course.
Correct, and that's really what it all comes down to. It feels like even though they're up 2-1 right now, they're down 18-16 in a set where Lynchburg has just crawled and crawled. And so it honestly, it feels a little bit like Bridgewater has their backs up against the wall. They do have that insurance of another set over Lynchburg, but with how they're playing right now, with how the Hornets are playing, you don't want it to go to a 5th set.
I totally agree with that. Now, Bridgewater, you can feel good about the fact that you laid a really strong foundation in sets 1 and 2, but you're not done building the house just yet. Haven't advanced to the finals just yet. Stoop had to adjust, and what an adjustment it was. She barely took off.
It looked like she might have gotten like a couple centimeters off the ground to put that much power behind it. That is impressive, and that is one of the reasons why she is one of the best to play in the ODAC.
And remember, out of the last timeout, they went to Reagan Stoop. They go to her again right there. Makes perfect sense to us. Bridgewater within 1 now. Barlow is there. Flight 17, cleared for takeoff. Kaylee Keogh is one of the best in school history. She hasn't had as many attempts this year because of new faces like Kate Hardy and Jacqueline Bryant, but don't forget, Kaylee Keogh is still a difference maker.
And with Kate Hardy at the service line, we've seen her slow it down a little bit back there. I wonder what she's going to go to, power or placement.
Good call. Maybe a little bit in between there. Lynchburg by 2. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic shot right there. That's Lindsay Kelly scoring again as the setter. Both setters for Bridgewater are really good at that.
Really nice setter dump again. I told you on Tuesday, Kyle, that's probably my favorite play in volleyball because it's really, you're pulling that out of your back pocket, catching everybody off guard, especially when it works out in a successful manner.
So good about not turning her shoulders early, really disguises it well, which is important. No disguise on that. That's just Jackie Bryant climbing to the ceiling to get one down to the floor.
Jackie Bryant, another transfer from Juniata. She has really done a fantastic job in this squad. Really your platoon on that bench where she comes in and she's just as good as everybody else. And that's the depth that we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast that has really boosted Lynchburg to the record that they had this year.
5 kills in the match for Jacqueline Bryant. Claire Griffith, that ball is down. Oh, man, and a block. Thought it was going to rebound out of bounds off the block, but instead it's a Lynchburg point, 21-18. Hornets are 4 away from set 5.
This crowd is in an uproar, Kyle. You got everybody towards the right of us pointing that was in.
Stoop with the first one. Claire Griffith again just got blocked. This time decided to go over the wall. Smart. Speaking of walls, there's Ava Meinhardt with a slam dunk, and Lynchburg is now 3 from the finish line and 3 away from forcing set 5.
Everybody is taking a chunk out of the cake right now, Kyle. Ava Meinhardt, it was Jackie Bryant. Everybody is doing their job for Lynchburg.
And again, it's so loud in here, we keep interrupting each other because we can't hear anything. Meinhardt with the overpass. She'll cash in again.
What a run Lynchburg has gone on. The 2 timeouts that Bridgewater have called, that Aaron Harris has called, they've gotten that opening point, but Lynchburg has shut down every sort of momentum that Bridgewater can try and conjure up.
And the Hornets fell down 5-0 to begin this set. Jana Leak, one hand, just not clean enough. Fantastic shot by Bridgewater to keep themselves in set 4. Door is not completely closed on a 4-set win for Bridgewater just yet.
When you go back to the end of the 3rd set, Bridgewater really started to crawl back when they were down to set point. It was a similar scoreline, so we expect the same exact thing.
That one got to Leak, and then it got to Meinhardt. She'll just uncork more cheddar. Ava Meinhardt having a moment to remember in set 4. Leah DiNardo's in the game. It's Meinhardt to try to finish it off from the service line and take us to a winner-take-all set 5.
This crowd is going to be in an uproar if she can get this serving ace to go.
Meinhardt floated it way too strong. I don't want to put that on the moment. Again, it could have just been a mishit, but you never know. You know the adrenaline was ramped up there for Ava Meinhardt.
Yeah, she definitely a small mishit. She was laughing as she went to the little huddle in the middle of the court, and now she checks out.
24-20, Lynchburg by 4. Bridgewater not here. The serve was not good enough, and we are going to set 5. What a fight back from Lynchburg in the set and in the match. Hornets stay alive. We'll see you on the other side of a quick breather. Well, this Thursday night has been anything but ordinary inside Turner Gymnasium. Absolute scenes, 100% box office tonight. Both squads have had plenty to feel good about, and it is an ODAC semifinal game where both teams have laid it all on the line. Kyle Haney, Ethan Morotsky with you again. What a fight back for Lynchburg. Bridgewater, they took set 1 by 9. They won set 2 by 7, but the Hornets were not done yet.
Well, we said it was a mountain that they have to climb. They're almost there. Bridgewater trying to hold them off. I want to highlight something you mentioned in that last set where, yeah, it's great that you won the first 2 sets, but now Lynchburg's won the next 2. This gym, it's hard to hear you, Kyle. We got headphones in. So this gym is in an amazing state if you're a Lynchburg fan, to where the energy is up, it is hype in here, and now it feels like all the momentum is in Lynchburg's hands. But if you're Lynchburg, you can't play around with that. Don't play with your food. Get it done as soon as you can. If you're the same thing with Bridgewater, you got to get it going as soon as you can, much like you have the first 3 sets.
Looks like Bridgewater is 2-1 in 5-set matches this year. Lynchburg is 4-1 in 5-setters. The notable 5-set loss was on the road to Virginia Wesleyan, who is in action tonight hosting Washington and Lee. We promise we will check in on that score at some point, but this one we just couldn't take our eyes off of long enough, so we'll try that in the postgame. But yeah, playing to 15 here in set 5, so as you mentioned, not nearly as much wiggle room. You've got to have a fast start.
Yeah, gotta feel like that. You have to go. You can't make any mistakes. If you do 1 or 2, maybe is allowed, but you gotta remember, you only play to 15 in set 5, so like you said, that wiggle room, it's a lot slimmer now. You have to go on a run early and step on that gas pedal as soon as you can.
Predictably, the first serve for Alexis Curry, team leader in aces for Bridgewater, but how about Leah the Machine DiNardo, early activation?
It seems like in the last 2 sets, the only 2 sets that Lynchburg has won, they started off getting in the momentum by going to Leah DiNardo, so I don't blame them for going right back to her to get something going in this 5th set.
Up-tempo, DiNardo, so destructive. Here's Reagan Stoop, equally as damage-doing. Kate Hardy now pushes through the block. Play on. Good communication there by Bridgewater. Diving dig from Alexis Scipione. Then she took evasive action to get out of the way. Fantastic rally early on here. Another one by Scipione. Spatula out, scraping the floor. Eagles are going to have to run this one down. Free ball coming for Lynchburg. Can they take advantage? Scipione under it. DiNardo one more time. Oh, and it's out. Tried to paint that back line. That was just the second point of the set. If that's any indication, this is going to be a banger of a set 5.
Another scrappy rally, a huge hit from the Machine DiNardo. It looked like Bridgewater might have caught a little bit of a break there. It seems like if that was in any part of the court, that point had to go for DiNardo.
Barlow back in for Lynchburg. She will take the serve. Scipione with the dump. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. You just can't do that. You can't do that right there, Scipione. That's too good.
Alexis Scipione. We've highlighted Kate Hardy and Jackie Bryant, those 2 transfers. Scipione, another transfer, but she's from Richard Bland. She's another player that has just turned and helped this program out so well this season.
Skip doesn't even attack that much. Only 6 kills coming into the match. Oh, and her counterpart got it. How good is that? The setters taking center stage. Maya Veselinic with her own sneak attack.
And you gotta love it. She's thinking, if you can do it, I can do it too. And they've both been doing it all ball game. And you love to see it if you're a volleyball fan.
Just a first year. Veselinic, wow. Tied up. Here's Scipione. Gives it to Kaylee Keogh. Play on. Cross court for Reagan Stoop. Barlow, which is kind of the back of the hands there on the punch. Hardy flying high. Will this lead to a point? Not yet. Scipione for Hardy one more time. What a dig. This one hangs around the rafters for a while. I have to make that ball pay rent up there next time. Morgan Clark's in the game. She'll set Hardy, and that finds the floor. Morgan Clark with a great assist right there.
And what 2 great hits from Kate Hardy. The first one for power. Rafters helped out Bridgewater a little bit this time. takes a little bit off, finds some placement, open space. That is textbook from your grad student, Kate Hardy.
Hardy to serve. Lynchburg leads 3-2. Blackmore was kind of moving around during the serve there. Can get in trouble with that sometimes. Hardy. Oh, just too much steam from Reagan Stoop. Too much firepower from Stoop. Tied up again. We were tied at 1. We were tied at 2. We were tied at 3. You might want to put that on tape and have that ready. I think we're going to have some more ties in this one.
Stoop and Hardy going hit for hit. The two-star players on these teams really going after it. Who can get the upper hand?
And it was Hardy with the last serve. Now guess what? It's Reagan Stoop with the serve. Barlow, a little awkward there. Jana Leak runs it down. Stoop has the first one. Claire Griffith, touch shot, perfectly placed in the donut again. Back line, just a hair late getting there for Lynchburg. Eagles lead.
With how strong that Bridgewater's been hitting everything up front of the net, you don't blame them for playing so far back, but they're just going to take advantage of that with the open space that you give them in the middle. Keogh,
return to sender. No, that is a Lynchburg point. That is a Lynchburg point. I thought Agnes Alford had it. Is it Bridgewater?
I think it is Bridgewater.
Okay. All right. Apologies. Good stuff from Alford. Her reaction was weird. It's almost like she didn't get the call. Strong serve gets Lynchburg out of system. Eagles on the attack. Alford had it. Keogh on the overpass. There's Reagan Stoop. Guess who? Setter attack. Leak runs it down. Platform from Clark. High ball for Bryant. Play on. Faith Depew. Too much on it. Lynchburg's within 1.
Another long rally for both these teams. Lynchburg catching a little bit of their own break, a little miss hit from Depew. You'll take that all day. You're still down by 1. You've got some work to do again. You're only going to 15. You don't have the wiggle room of 20 more points to have to get.
Exactly right. 5-4 Bridgewater. Kaylee Keogh to serve from the middle of the court. Sends it to Stoop. Depew again on the move through the block and trickling down. 6-4, Eagles by 2.
60-40 block. I thought it was a good block from Lynchburg. Just kind of stuck up and spun on the top of the net and just happened to go on that Lynchburg side. Looked like it really could have gone either way.
Senior DS Libero, Anna Black serving. Not a bad one there at all. Leak to the middle for Meinhardt. That's down. Lynchburg's within 1 again. Ava Meinhardt continues to impress and be a factor in this ball game. Termination number 11 for Ava Meinhardt.
Both the middle blockers for this Hornets team, Ava Meinhardt and Leah DiNardo, have really stepped up, and now you've got both of them on the court at the same time.
Meinhardt serving. Oh, it's a good one. It got Stoop in trouble. It's an ace for Meinhardt, and we're tied up 6-6.
Well, I caught a little bit of it. It sounded like some Bridgewater players thought it was out, and Stoop was ready to dig it up and maybe caught in between both, so I'm not too sure. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication.
It's just the third ace of the game, and here's an interesting play. After the ace, Meinhardt will come out and hand the ball off to Emma Cash. Emma Cash in on the season. She has 1 ace. What a strong server. Cash is pretty strong on defense as well. Well, that ball kept alive by Griffith nicely. DiNardo with the touch. Black is there. Back set for Depew. Leak into the rafters, now into the third row. Bridgewater takes control again, 7-6.
Well, it was a risky move for Kevin Cardoza. I thought it was a good serve from Emma Cash. That's what she came in for as she's checking out now. So a good risk that you're taking. It's just Bridgewater just came out on top.
What a ball game. As good as it gets. Faith Depew to serve. Everything you want in a volleyball match. High stakes, high skill, high drama. Leak for Jacqueline Bryant. Too short. In the net, Eagles by 2 again. Matches the biggest advantage of set 5. Now we'll have the changeover. Teams switch benches. Bridgewater will now have their main cheering section right behind their bench. Lynchburg's got fans all around Turner Gymnasium. But you do have to give Bridgewater a lot of credit. Their fans have showed up, and they've been a difference maker at times.
Yeah, I completely agree. You got to think a large reason why this Bridgewater team is doing so well in the first 2 sets is because obviously they've been playing their hearts out and they've been doing everything right, but the fans are right behind them cheering them on. That's definitely a big help for an away team.
Both coaches still have 2 timeouts in set 5. It's a Bridgewater lead by 2. We've had 4 ties in set 5. We're tied up 2 sets apiece. Good call from Kaylee Keough. Sighted it well, let that one fly by for a Lynchburg point.
And if you're Bridgewater, that is a killer. Again, only to 15. You have to limit all the errors, whether that's at the service line or in the middle of the court.
Jacqueline Bryant, transfer from New York, serving for Lynchburg. Tight to the net. Eagles will get to attack. Keough, leak. Middle for DiNardo. Not done yet. There's Reagan Stoop at her best again. Blackmore's there. Leak. This time for Tori Williamson. Sent back. Lynchburg rebuilding, reorganizing. Now another chance for Bridgewater. What a rally. Oh, and the rafter hurt Lynchburg there. Leak didn't realize it was going to hit the rafter, stayed put, and then after the carom, just couldn't quite get placed under it.
Yeah, a tough play. Both sides doing really well to keep that ball alive. We saw some diving efforts, some sliding efforts. Rafters just doing a little too much. And if you're Lynchburg, you got to find a way to not just get that 1 point. You got to get a second after that.
Got to build. Eagles are 6 points from the match finish line here in set 5. Scipione on the move for Hardy. Stuffed. Lynchburg couldn't keep it going, and now the biggest lead of the set for Bridgewater. Here comes the predictable timeout for Coach Kevin Cardoza. He'll stop things with his team 3 points in arrears in set 5. We're staying right here again. What a volleyball match. I mean, this is like intergalactic combat right here. This is like fate of the known universe type of stuff. And Bridgewater leads by 3 in the only set that matters now.
Yeah, a tough matchup for both these teams. It is not easy for Bridgewater to come into Turner Gymnasium with the crowd that you have to face. It's also not easy if you're Lynchburg to go down 2 sets with the crowd that you have, but to start crawling back. Now you're down by 3. You got to get some sort of momentum. But again, to 15, Eagles only have to score 5 more. Lynchburg has to score 8 if they want to keep it close to win it. You still have a timeout if you're Bridgewater and Coach Aaron Harris. So if Lynchburg does start to go on a run, you can slow it down a little bit getting closer to that crunch time.
Bridgewater in the 5th set right now. 6 kills on 18 swings. 1 error in there. The hitting percentage for the entire match is 189 for Bridgewater. Lynchburg's attack percentage in the match is 169. Those are awfully low, but I think it tells you about the tension and how good the defenses have been as well. The fact that those attack percentages are both under 200. Lynchburg, 4 kills in the set, 1 ace.
We've seen a lot of great defense from Bridgewater. There are a ton of big hits from DiNardo, Hardy, and KK, everybody, that you feel like on just a different team playing defense that they would get through. But no, you've got a player like Stoop and everybody beside her that is just doing a fantastic job keeping her team in it.
Yeah, I hope we haven't overdone it about Reagan Stoop. She's a special player. She'll be a factor as this one moves on. DiNardo blocked, but she hit it over behind her back. Oh, wow, what a shot right there by Gabby Atwell. I think she missed it the first time going up with the right hand and then whacked it down with the left.
Yeah, and plays like that, just a momentum keeper. We talk about how a big play can shift the momentum towards Lynchburg. They're waiting for that, but that's going to really boost this Bridgewater offense.
Deceptively good phrase by you, momentum keeper. Everybody talks about momentum changers and momentum swings, but a momentum keeper play. Unfortunately, more momentum for the Eagles as Kate Hardy completely missed the mark. 12-7 Bridgewater, 3 away from getting to the ODAC Finals where they have come so close. 8 trips to the semifinals in the last decade and a half, but could not push through. Tonight might be the night. Now they're 2 away. A strong serve really bothered Lynchburg there. Might be another timeout.
I think they're calling that point Lynchburg.
Net contact. Wow. You talk about a reprieve for Lynchburg. That means they're down by 4 in a 12-8 ball game. Aaron Harris went to the official and had a long convo. A good call. Point to Lynchburg.
That's a big switch up because now you're down by 4 with still 3 points to go for Bridgewater instead of 5.
Well, if you're the Eagles, have another one of those momentum keeper type of plays. Kaylee Keough from off the net. Eagles going to go to Stoop. Wow, what a shot. Cassie Blackmore, valiant effort. Couldn't get to it in time. Now Bridgewater is 2 away in a 13-8 ball game.
It's going to be tough. It's crunch time. Lynchburg, you've got to score not only 5 to tie it up, but you got to hope that you go on a 5-0 run because any point adds that much weight on your shoulders because it's not only set point, but it's match point.
16th kill of the match for Stoop. Scipione wants DiNardo. That got hit before Leah DiNardo even got it. Keough with a rocket. Stoop from off the net. Down the line, Scipione's there. Morgan Clark with the bump set. Stymied at the net. From the back row, Depew, too much gas. And Lynchburg is still fighting. Lynchburg is down, but still fighting.
It looked like the set from Veselinovic was a little bit of a mix-up. You usually obviously go towards the net with your sets, but she went backwards a little bit, trying to switch things up. Just too much of an overhit.
Good serve from Blackmore. Gets Bridgewater in a little trouble. Scipione, Kaylee Keough. That ball is out. The ball hit the line judge. Lynchburg fans can't believe it. I think if it made contact with the line judge, it was probably the right call, don't you?
Yeah, I agree with you. It didn't look like that caught a little bit of line. I think the fans for Lynchburg are going to do whatever they can to sway the mind.
Yeah, why not, right? Match point. Match point. Lindsay Kelly to serve, and she will serve Bridgewater into an ODAC final. Eagles win on the road. The 3 seed will play for an ODAC championship on Saturday. What a match. It went to 5 sets. Lynchburg had some moments of greatness, some moments where they didn't play their best. Give Bridgewater all the credit. They brought the fight to Lynchburg all night, and the Eagles are moving on. Their season continues.
Yeah, a great 2 sets for Bridgewater. They dominated the entire way at the beginning of this match. Lynchburg, a great job crawling back. You showed a lot of heart with a lot of different players, too. We had Morgan Clark have a big impact, Abby Barlow, a ton of different players, Jana Leak, another one. We even saw Emma Cash today trying to make a point to change something around in this ballgame, but just a great job by the Eagles. Realistically, what won them this game was the defense. The defense was fantastic. Stoop, unbelievable player, one of the best, probably the best Bridgewater's ever seen, one of the best that the ODAC has seen. A great job on attack and defense from Stoop. An all-around great ball game for Bridgewater.
Yeah, and Bridgewater, a massive lift to win this. They're going to get even more of a lift when they find out that Washington and Lee sprang the upset on the road in 5 sets. That means Bridgewater is hosting on Saturday. Bridgewater will now host. The 3 seed is going to host Washington and Lee, the 4 seed. That has some implications for the NCAA tournament as well, because Virginia Wesleyan and Lynchburg will get at-large bids thanks to their NPI rankings. That means the winner of that match on Saturday will be the 3rd team from the Old Dominion Athletic Conference that advances to the NCAA tournament. That is an incredible feat in itself, and that speaks to just how good the quality of volleyball in this conference is. We saw it on display tonight. Sounds like they had a great matchup down in Virginia Beach that had the same thing. I mean, these are 4 really juggernaut type of teams.
Yeah, and like you said, W&L going to get an at-large bid. Vauwez going to get an at-large bid. Lynchburg going to get an at-large bid. Bridgewater, they're 3rd in the ODAC. They're on top of W&L, so they're thinking, we got a chance to make some history.
Yeah.
So they're thinking that, like you were talking about, the ODAC is such a juggernaut of a conference that we could have 3 teams in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, well, just to clarify, Washington and Lee's 60th in the NPI, and now that Lynchburg and Bridgewater are going to get at-large bids, that means the loser of that match on Saturday probably will not get an at-large bid, because basically now you have two bid thieves in a way, if you think about that, with Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan. But the bracket will come out. The selection show will happen on Monday. I believe it's at 1 p.m. on Monday, Ski. We can watch it together, and maybe we'll all be surprised. Maybe when somebody gets an at-large bid, you'll be like, I told you so. 5-setter tonight. Bridgewater takes 1 and 2. Lynchburg storms back for 3 and 4, and then it's 15-9 in the final set. Let me give you some closing numbers here. Reagan Stoop, as my colleague said, was just incredible. 16 kills. She did a little bit of everything. Faith Depew, 13 terminations for Bridgewater. Eagles had 11 total blocks. 11 total blocks for Lynchburg. That was much better than the regular season matchup, by the way. That was back on September 19th. Lynchburg wins in 4 sets. Lynchburg outblocked Bridgewater 9-5 in that matchup. So big change up there for Bridgewater to be much better in the blocking category. Lynchburg, 18 terminations from Kate Hardy. DiNardo, 16. Meinhardt, 11. Lynchburg had 3 total blocks and just 3 aces. That was a big part of our dialogue for the entire match. Lynchburg usually so dominant from the service line, gets a lot of points there, and they get the other team in trouble. Bridgewater really handled the Lynchburg serving nicely tonight.
Yeah, I think if you're Bridgewater going into your Saturday championship that you're now hosting, you love a matchup like this where you go up early and then you have to stay fighting with Lynchburg, who are crawling back. That's a great matchup, and I wouldn't be surprised if that jolts them towards a championship. But you can also say the same thing for W&L. They go down to Virginia Wesleyan, who hadn't lost an ODAC matchup all year, and they come out with a win and onwards to the championship round. And now on the flip side for Lynchburg, you also got to take the positives where a game like this is also beneficial, because you were down 2-0 where it looked like you were down and out. The fans were still with you, but you weren't playing to your best. You weren't passing well, you weren't hitting well, and you weren't playing defense well. But you crawled back, took Bridgewater to a 5th set, who Bridgewater is a very good team. That's a good game for both of these teams. Obviously, you want to come up with a win if you're Lynchburg, but congrats to Bridgewater.
No doubt about it. Aaron Harris and her squad, they deserve all the accolades. It's going to be a good match Saturday. That's going to be a good match Saturday for an ODAC championship and a chance to get in the NCAA tournament. That will be a lot of fun. That Saturday championship is usually around 1 or 2 p.m. We'll double check on that, but visit the Bridgewater website or the Washington and Lee website or the ODAC website to learn more on that. Like what you said about the Lynchburg side, I mean, Kevin Cardoza is going to take the positives away from this, and really, there's no value in not staying positive about this, right? If you go in the locker room and say, oh, man, that was the worst moment of our lives, where do we go from here? Well, how's that going to rally your team, right? Coach K is going to stay very positive. I think the ladies will know, hey, we played some good volleyball, but we didn't play good enough for 5 sets. We'll need to do that moving forward in that NCAA tournament. And now the team is a little bit more accustomed in a pressure situation. So another benefit right there, Ethan. I want to stay all night, but we've probably done enough damage so far. It was a fun night, man.
Yeah, I had an absolute blast.
I think every fan that was in here is going to remember this for a long time. As a player, I'm not sure you ever forget a match like this as a player, do you?
No,
I don't see.
Not.
And if you forget a match like this as a player, you're playing in some crazy matches that we need to know about. You know what I mean? If you're playing in front of a packed house like this was a blast. We hope you enjoyed it. We tried our best. So did both these squads. We'll end it there. Big thank you to our LHSN team for all their efforts. Thank you for watching. It's a Bridgewater 5-set win. Eagles take down Lynchburg on the road and advance to the ODAC championship against Washington and Lee on Saturday. Lynchburg waits for the NCAA selection show on Monday. So long, everybody. Thanks for watching.